Hello everyone, my name is Hyder Abbas. I welcome you all onto the series on Terraform, which is one of the most powerful tool in the world of DevOps and cloud automation. Today, almost every company, every project uses the cloud-based infrastructure, whether it is for hosting, for storage, for databases, or for CI/CD. So anyone who are into the tech, it becomes very essential for you to know about the cloud-based infrastructure. Whenever the concept of infrastructure on cloud comes into picture, there are many tools which you may have to explore. One of the most powerful or mostly used tool when it comes to the creation of or provisioning of infrastructure on cloud is the Terraform. That is what we need to understand here. But before we see anything practically, first we need to understand why we may have to go with Terraform, what exactly Terraform is trying to solve, and then we have to understand what exactly is Terraform and how do we have to work it. Fine. For which I would like to take some examples directly. Let me open my AWS account. I hope you have some idea about any of the cloud providers. There are many cloud providers who will give the services such as Microsoft. We have GCP, we have the AWS from the Amazon. We have different cloud providers apart from this also, wherein we can provision, or we can say we can create the infrastructure which is required for our application, whether it is creating the servers or getting the databases, or getting some of the storages, anything it could be. Okay, so I'll keep in mind that you might have some fundamental idea on what these cloud providers are, right? Now I have opened my AWS. Okay, this is my AWS account, a free tier account, and you can just go here and search for EC2. Right now, since I usually work with these services directly, I have option of going with one of the service EC2 on the screen. If not, you may just have to search on this. Once you create the free tier account on AWS, you will have an option to use some of the services. I'll assume that you might have created, and I would like to create one server, or you can say one Linux virtual machine onto my cloud. Manually, I'm going to do it. See, whenever you want to provision, or you can say you want to create any of the resource or infrastructure on the cloud, there are multiple options. Every cloud platforms gives you multiple options, right? Right now on the AWS, the requirement is I want to create one Linux virtual machines. We have multiple options in AWS. Option number one, you can log into your AWS account where you will be given the web UI. You'll be given one console which is web-based console, right? Internet-based. Once you have internet connection, web-based console, you will be getting it, and you can search for the services which you want. Since I want to create a Linux machine, I would like to go to the EC2. This is one of the service which we have to use whenever you want to create a Linux machine on AWS. I would like to just click on this. If you click on this, it will redirect to this page, and I have to click on launch instances. What I'm trying to say here is that one of the option is to open the web-based console of the cloud provider, and you can create or you can provision the infrastructure which you want manually by using the user interface, right? Maybe I want to create one Linux machine. I have an option here. Launch an instance. I would like to give the instance name as maybe Telusko Linux virtual machine. Any name you want you can give. I'll say here Linux machine, okay, or you can say VM, any name of your own choice. It should not create major matter of concern. After which you have option of choosing the which machine you want to go with, which flavor of Linux. I would like to go with the Amazon Linux here. I would like to click on this, and then we have an option of going through the instance type. You want how much of capacity in that machine you want, right? I want to go with the free tier because I don't want any charges there. And after which we have by default option of security groups, and I would like to just create, or you can say launch the instance, right? Now you can see select an existing key pair or create a key pair. Now I could have selected this also at the time of creating. Intentionally I have not selected this, just to let you know that whenever you are provisioning any of the resource or infrastructure on cloud platforms manually, there are chances that you might forget some of the steps. There are chances that you may miss some of the important steps. Later, going forward, you might face difficulty for the same, right? Example, here I was just creating my machine. I forgot to click on the key pair. This is a silly mistake. It could be something else also. So if you are creating the infrastructure, provisioning the infrastructure on the cloud platforms manually using the web consoles provided by the cloud providers, there is a possibility wherein you may miss some of the steps at the time of infrastructure creation, and later you may have to struggle, right? This is one of the possibilities. Again, what if the requirement is I want to create totally 20 servers? 20 servers in the sense you may have to create 20 virtual machines. Now, you creating the 20 virtual machines manually by going through this web console is not an easy task. It is a lengthy task, a time consuming task. There are some difficulties. Now, what if you want to create some of the resources on the Azure, Microsoft Azure? Will the UI, the user interface of the web console of Azure, will it be same as AWS? The answer is no. If you want to create any of the machines or resources on the Google, maybe GCP, Google Cloud, there will the web console and the UI of whatever you get in the GCP, will it be same as Microsoft Azure or AWS? The answer is no, it will not be same. Now, you may have to explore all the UIs. It is very, very difficult. And apart from that, what if you want to create any of the resources? There is a possibility of making the mistakes. It is error prone, right? If you want to create multiple resources, then definitely it is a time consuming process. I want to convey one message that it is very difficult and there are many limitations associated with it. Whenever you want to create this infrastructure manually by going through these web browsers, or you can say user interface of the cloud providers. Now, every cloud providers provides its own way of automating the things also. In AWS, if you want to automate the infrastructure provisioning, if you want to create any of the infrastructure provisioning, automatically you can automate by using one of the service called as CloudFormation. Like CloudFormation, we have in the Microsoft Azure, we have something called as a resource manager. Similar that every cloud provider may have its own way to automate this, but that is again specific to a fixed cloud provider. Example, if you want to automate the infrastructure creation process in AWS, we have something called as CloudFormation. Can you use CloudFormation to automate the infrastructure creation in the Microsoft Azure? No, the answer is no, because it is something different there in the Microsoft Azure. Same thing, something different in the GCP and any other cloud platforms or any other cloud providers. Now the question is, do we have anything common using which we can automate the infrastructure creation, and also wherein we have an option to maintain the history? We can version it to the Git and know how and when we have made the changes in the infrastructure creation, and with such script which can be reused any time, any number of time. We can just write the script once, maybe to create a virtual machine, and same script you can run it for multiple times. We do have any option? The answer is yes. That's where the concept of Terraform comes into picture. Using a single tool, you can create or provision the infrastructure on the AWS also, Microsoft Azure also, GCP also, or any other cloud providers also. It is for the infrastructure provisioning, or in simplified words, it is to create the infrastructure. You want to create the servers, you need not to do it manually. You can, of course, you can do it, but again, it has its own limitations and problems associated. We do have an option wherein using one tool, you can automate the process of infrastructure creation onto the multiple cloud providers using Terraform. Now, Terraform is one of the most powerful tool which we use in the industry to automate the process of infrastructure provisioning, or you can say infrastructure creation, which is developed by one company called as HashiCorp, right? And it follows its own syntax to write the script in the Terraform file. which is HCL, HashiCorp Configuration Language, HCL. Using this HCL, you can write the code in order to automate the process of creation of infrastructure provisioning on any cloud platforms. Terraform supports for multi-cloud platforms. Using the Terraform, you can create or provisioning the infrastructure on almost all the famous cloud providers which we have here. Not just famous, almost every cloud provider nearly. You can use the same tool in order to automate the process of creating any of the resources, or you can say infrastructure creation or provisioning. Fine. Also, it is free and open source. You need not to pay or you need not to buy any license in order to use Terraform. It is free for everyone. However, if you create any of the resources on any of the cloud platforms which are paid resources using the Terraform, you may have to pay. You are not paying it for a Terraform, you are paying for the cloud providers. Example, you want to create a S3 bucket on AWS. Now for that, maybe you're using Terraform to automate the infrastructure or S3 bucket creation. If you are creating that, you are not paying for Terraform. To use Terraform to write the HCL, to write the scripts or to write the code in order to automate the process of S3 bucket creation, it is free. You are not paying it for Terraform. It is free and open source. However, if you are creating any of the resources on any of the cloud platforms, if that resource is paid there, you may have to pay for the cloud provider, not for the Terraform. It is absolutely free. So let me open the site of the Terraform here, which you can see here. If you just search for Terraform by HashiCorp. So Terraform is an infrastructure as a code, IAC. Infrastructure as a code refers to writing the code in order to provision the infrastructure, in order to create the infrastructure. We are going to write a code. How are we going to write the code? Which language are we going to use? It is HCL, right? So let me just open this Terraform by HashiCorp. You can see Terraform is an infrastructure as a code tool that lets you build, change, version infrastructure safely and efficiently. Fine. And for which we just have to use its own language, which is the HCL. Let me just click on this. We have an option. You can go through the official documents also. Now we are going to first install this Terraform in two ways. I'll be showing you how to install Terraform locally in your machine. Also, how to install the Terraform on the virtual machine which I'm going to create on the cloud. Okay, so maybe irrespective of the operating system your laptop has, you can follow any of these steps, both the ways. Also manually also on your local system, if not also onto the cloud. Maybe I'll create one Linux machine on my AWS. Onto that machine I will install the Terraform, and then we will try to understand how exactly we may have to work with the Terraform. Now let's proceed with the installation. There are two ways to install. Number one, you can install the Terraform locally, and then by using the ID such as VS Code, you can write the Terraform script, or you can say Terraform code. Option number two, which is universal, irrespective of the operating system you have, you can follow this to create a virtual machine on the AWS cloud, a Linux virtual machine on the AWS cloud, and then onto our Linux virtual machine we can install the Terraform and we can work on it. Right, so I'll be showing you both the ways. First way, I would like to go with the AWS. By creating a Linux machine on the AWS, I would like to install the Terraform, and then I would like to continue with it. Option number two, I would like to also show you how to install the Terraform locally on your machine and use VS Code in order to write the Terraform code. I'll assume that you might have a free tier account or maybe account on the AWS, and then you can create the Linux virtual machine onto the EC2. By chance, if you don't have any AWS account, you can create a free AWS account by following any of the videos on the YouTube. Fine. Now let me just go here and search for EC2. If you have already bookmarked, directly you will have an option of EC2. If not, you have to search for EC2. I would like to go with it. And then I would like to just click on launch the instance, and then it will redirect to this page. I would like to give the name of this as maybe Terraform Linux virtual machine, right? So Terraform VM is what I would like to give the name. And here I have an option to select the Amazon machine image, which one you would like to go with. We have multiple options. In the Linux, we have Red Hat, Ubuntu. I would like to go with the Amazon Linux, right? I would like to click on this. Let it be instance type free tier, and key pair. I would like to create a new key pair. I would like to just go here and click into Terraform. Terraform. I would like to give it as maybe a key pair. I'll say here E pair. All right. So now rsa.pem file, let it be, because this will be required in order to get connected to this machine which we are creating. One Linux machine will be created on the cloud. We have to get connected to that machine, right, in order to perform whatever activity or whatever actions we want. So I would like to just click on this key pair. It will be downloaded, after which I would like to click any of the existing security group, or you can just choose to create a default new security group. Even by chance if this step is missed, later also you can add it. Fine. Now I would like to just go ahead and create the instance. My AWS instance will be ready. I would like to click on this. You can see the instance will be ready. That means a Linux machine is created. Irrespective of your OS of your system, whether you're using Mac or Windows or Linux, doesn't matter. We have created one Linux machine, a virtual machine onto the cloud. Now I want to get connected to this machine to perform any operation we want, right? We are in the Windows machine. We have created on the cloud one Linux machine. I want to get connected to do anything. Maybe I want to install Terraform. I'll not be installing on the machine. I have created one machine on the cloud, which is the Terraform VM, and onto that machine I want to install the Terraform, right? So I would like to just click on this instance ID, and then you have an option of connect here, right? So there are multiple ways to get connected. If you have software such as Mob Extreme or the Putty, you can just go with the EC2 instance option and you can get connected. And I would like to go with the SSH client, irrespective of whether you are a Mac user or Windows user. If you have a Git bash, easily you can get connected with the help of SSH client, right? So you just have to first copy this permission, chmod 400. I would like to go to my downloads where it was downloaded. Let me open this. As you can see in my downloads, we have a Terraform key value.pem file. Wherever you have this pem file, from there, I would like to just right click and we will have an option of show more. I would like to open my git bash. If not, you can just install the git bash. It is very easy process. One of the terminal, right? So I would like to open this git bash, and in my git bash, you can see here is our git bash. Okay. So let me just elaborate this. I would like to open this. I would like to, yes, I just have to first add this command. Right click, paste whatever I had copied for the permissions. It is done. And the next command which we have to run in order to get connected is, let me just go here, and we have this command, right? I would like to copy this example. Command is copied, and let me go to my git bash, right click, and we have paste. There are multiple ways in order to get connected to the Linux machine which we are creating on the AWS. This is one of the way which is more easier. I would like to just hit this. Let me just click on yes. And now we have successfully connected. Let me just say here, who am I? It is EC2 user, present working directory. Yes, it is all working fine. Successfully now we could able to establish connection to our Linux machine. Right now we are in our Linux machine which we had created on the cloud. Now here in my machine, in a virtual machine, I want to install the Terraform. What to do? Please go to the official website of Terraform, which I would like to go here. And if you just click on Terraform by HashiCorp, on the left hand side you have multiple options here which you can see. Please click on install, and then if you just click on install, then you'll have multiple options to install on different OS. Since we are installing on the Linux machine which we have created on the cloud, right? So which version of Linux we have used, which flavor of Linux we have used here? I think we have gone with the Amazon Linux at the time of VM creation. So I would like to click on Amazon VM only, and then it will give you commands which you may have to run in order to install the Terraform. I would like to take these commands. Okay, these are the commands I have just copied here, and then let me go to my machine, and I'll say right click, paste it. Now it will take some time. Within a few seconds or a minute, your Terraform will be installed. You can see it is started to install. Yes, it is downloading. All the required plugins, softwares, everything is installing. Yes, it is completed. Terraform is successfully installed on your Linux machine, a Linux machine on the cloud which you have created. Now let me check if it is successfully installed by going to Terraform-V. Yes, it is no successfully installed because we are getting the version of Terraform. We can also check the version of Terraform with Terraform version. We are getting this option of Terraform that shows Terraform is successfully installed on our Linux machine on the cloud. Now we can run some of the commands of Terraform and we can work with it. I hope you could able to understand. Whenever you're working with this machine, whenever you're working with the Terraform, you can get connected to the machine the way I have showed, and you can write all the commands which are required in order to work with the Terraform. Once your task is over, once your practice is over, it is recommended to go back to your EC2 instance. Okay. And the machine which we have created was a Terraform, right? If you just click on this, you have an option of instance state. You can stop it because we are not using anymore now. I have stopped it. Once you stop any of the Linux machine, whatever software you have installed, that will be there. That is already there. Unless and until you delete this machine, those softwares will be there. Terraform we have installed, Terraform will be present inside this machine. I have just stopped. Whenever you work again with the Terraform, open your AWS account and go to your EC2 instances, and again instance state, you just have to start your instance. After starting the instance, you have to get connected the way I have showed, and then you can continue your practice and continue your work. And this is one of the way to install the Terraform. I have just installed the Terraform on my Linux machine. Can we install Terraform on our local machine such as Windows and work? The answer is yes, but this is a universal approach, a more realistic approach. I would like to also guide you on how to install that locally on your Windows machine and use the VS Code for writing the code with Terraform also. Now let's continue with the installation. Previously we have seen how to create a virtual machine on the AWS, and then we had installed the Terraform. That is universal, irrespective of the operating system you are using. You can follow that. Just in case if you want to install the Terraform and work locally on the Windows machine, then you can follow this step. First, you have to just search for the Terraform. Then, of course, it will lead to this page. And then we have an option here, top left, install. If you just click on this, we have an option of installing that, for Mac, for the Windows, and for the Linux. Linux we have already followed. We have created the virtual machine and we could able to install that successfully. Now I would like to install locally for the Windows. Now we have option here, a Windows binary. Since my system is of 64 bits, I would like to just go here and click on download. Within some time it will be downloaded successfully, and you will be able to see that in your downloads folder. So let me open my download folders. I would like to just go to my downloads, and you can see it is available here. Now you just have to extract this. Very simple process. You can extract here, you can extract in a different folder. That should not be a matter of concern. I would like to just extract here itself. It will ask you whether if you want to extract, and that will be extracted successfully. A new window also will be open, but however we do have here, right? Now once you open this extracted file, you will have one file, Terraform. The type of the file is application. You have to focus here. The type of the file is application, right? Now this file, if you open, if you want, you can keep it here itself, and you can keep it in downloads. Wherever this application Terraform file is there, this path you may have to configure in the environmental variables on your Windows machine. If not, you can keep it in a different folder. I would suggest take it from here. I would like to rather cut it from here, and I would like to go to the C drive. You can keep it in the downloads also. There is no problem. However, it is recommended. Okay. So I would like to go here within the program files. I would like to create a new folder by myself, and I would like to give the name here by the name Terraform. So I would like to give it as Terraform, and within this folder, I would like to just add this particular file. So I would like to continue. It will be added. Now, wherever this Terraform type application file is there, that path, Even if you have kept it in the downloads, you can copy the path. If you have kept it in a different folder, like the way I have done, copy the entire path and open the environmental variables. Okay, I would like to search on environmental variables. Let me open that. And if I click on this, you will be redirected to this page. And here we have an option advanced environmental variables. And both the options you have. By chance, if you are not able to open or edit the system variables, you can edit the user variables also. It is not a major problem. I would like to go to the system variables. We have a path here, and I would like to click on edit. And here I would like to click on new. The entire path we have copied from where we have kept our Terraform file. That path I have pasted here. I would like to say OK, right? Now we also have to configure the access and security key. What exactly the access key? What exactly is the security ID? I'll talk about it in a while, right? So this is the step number 1. Number 2, in order to write your Terraform scripts, Terraform code locally, you may have to have one IDE, and the preferred IDE is VS Code. Most of you might already have installed. If not, you can just go to the favorite browser and search for VS Code. Then you'll have an option of download. If you just click on this, we have an option here. You can go with the Windows. I already have that. If you want, you can just install once again. You can see Windows and you can just click on install. And once it is installed, you just have to click the double click and you will be able to open the VS Code. Let me open my VS Code here. Once you install the VS Code, if you double click it, you will be able to open, you'll be able to see the UI. You may get the extra options also to open the folders, to open the files. You can keep that as it is, right? Now, I would like to just go to my drive, and there I would like to just create one new folder. Okay, it is not compulsory, recommended to maintain the modularity. I would like to just go here and right click, try to rename this particular folder. Okay, I would like to give it as maybe Terraform scripts. Okay, Terraform scripts as the folder name. And in this folder, I would like to just open my VS Code, right? If you want, you can go to the VS Code, and here you have an option to open it where you want to open. Okay, if you just go to the file, and you'll have an option to open the VS Code folder, you can just open the folder. And here I would like to go to my D drive, and I had created one folder called as Terraform scripts, where I would like to write everything there. So I would like to go to Terraform scripts and select this folder. You'll be able to open your VS Code within this folder. Even otherwise, you have an option here. If you just go to the folder where you have created, right, Terraform scripts, and open the command prompt there. And once you open the command prompt here, you just have to run one command. Let me just show you that. Command prompt is open. I would like to just say here code space dot. And the moment you click this, automatically VS Code will be opened in this particular folder where you are running the command. We have multiple options. You can just better to use the UI of this VS Code and open this entire VS Code in this folder. Now whatever you write, the Terraform code, Terraform scripts, it will within this folder. And how do we write it? What exactly it is? We will see moving forward. And also you have to understand about access key and the security key, which is very, very important. Just in case if you are trying to create or provision any resources on the cloud providers such as AWS, you may have to also have those access keys and security keys, which if you are trying to create the scripts of Terraform locally, then on your environmental variables we have to set that. If not, if you're going with the Linux machine on the AWS which we have created, there also you have to export those keys. Only then you will be allowed to provision or create any infrastructure on your cloud platform. What exactly it is, let's discuss. Now we need to understand one more important thing is that whenever we use Terraform in order to provision or create the infrastructure in the cloud platforms such as AWS, the first thing we need is access to AWS itself. How will Terraform know that who you are, whether you are allowed to create a particular resources such as maybe EC2 or maybe VPC or S3, right? You have to give the credentials. You are the guy and you have the authority to create or provision such infrastructure. That's where the security credentials, access key ID and secret key comes into picture. Whenever you are trying to provision the infrastructure on the cloud platform such as AWS, you may have to also prove who you are, and you have to also prove that you are allowed to create a particular resources on that particular AWS account or any of the cloud account. And this is very, very important. And these things you can keep it in your Terraform file itself. You can keep your security credentials in your Terraform file, and when you execute that Terraform file, it will take it and you will be able to provision the infrastructure on the AWS. However, it is not recommended. What if someone sees your Terraform file? If they could able to read the script, then they will be getting the security credentials, which is not recommended. I would like to show you that we can keep these credentials in our AWS, in our Terraform file, and then without having to, give these credentials anywhere else, we can provision the infrastructure, we can create the resources on the AWS. However, that is not the better approach. The way is to use the concept of environmental variables. Now, two ways is what I am showing here in order to with Terraform. Number one is we created the Linux machine on the EC2, and there we have installed the Terraform. Now we just have to establish connection to that machine where Terraform is installed, and we have to set the environmental variables wherein we are setting this access key ID and the security key. Option number two, if you like to work with the approach of installing the Terraform locally on your machine, like the way I have shown, then in your local machine in environmental variables, you may have to set the access key ID and the secret ID. Only then you will be able to execute the Terraform script, which can provision, which can create or resources on your AWS account. Fine. Now, to get that, usually every time anyone would like to get connected to the AWS cloud and they want to work with any of the infrastructure, we usually create the IAM user and we specify the roles, what they can do, how much authority they have, right? But for now, I would like to go with the root user itself. Now, to get that secret key and the access key ID, you just have to go to your account, and right side we have an option of security credentials, and if you go here, then it will redirect to this page. Okay, and already one access key is there. Okay, I would like to just action, I would like to delete this. Before we delete, first we may have to deactivate. After it is deactivated, I would like to copy this entire access ID, okay, and I would like to paste it here in order to delete this existing key which we have. Okay, now we have an option here, access keys are 0. I would like to create this access key because it is required from outside world. If you want to provision any of the infrastructure on your AWS, it is required. I would like to click on this. I understand creating a root access key. Okay, it is not a best practice actually, because we create multiple IAM users and then we set the roles for them, and based on that we create a specific IDs for a specific IAM user. Right now, I don't want to again get into the AWS part of IAM and explain, so I would like to go with this because we are trying to learn the Terraform here, right? So I would like to create the access key. And now we have access key also, secret access key also. These things is what we may have to configure. Two ways you can configure this in your Terraform file itself, which is not recommended. One more, to set as the environmental variables. Fine. Now first I would like to set this locally on my machine, so that if you're working locally on your Windows machine, easily you can execute your Terraform script. Option number two, I would like to configure this in our Linux machine also by getting connected and setting that as environmental variables. I would like to copy this and let me open the environmental variables. First of all, I would like to search edit the environmental variables. Okay, and if I have to open this, it will just give it to this page, and here is where we have to add either in the user variable or you can say in the system variable. Okay, so let me open in a different way environmental variables. Allow me just a moment of time. I would like to just open this. All right, and you can see we do have an option here, advanced environmental variables, and now here is where you have to specify. Okay, you have to specify the name access key ID, and you have to paste whatever you have copied. Okay, and the variable name I would like to give it as AWS underscore. I would like to say here access underscore key ID. Okay, that's the name of a variable, and this is the key configured. And again, I would like to just specify AWS secret access key, as you can see here. And now we have to add this value. How do we add this value? Here is where the value is. Okay, if you want, you can check it. I would like to copy from here. And now I would like to go back to my environmental variables, and I would like to just add this value here. After which I would like just to click OK. Locally, you have set in your environmental variables. Now, if you are going to create your, Terraform scripts in your VS Code ID, and if you run locally, now you can successfully, you will be in a position to create the infrastructure on your AWS account. Fine. Now, if I want to do it on my Linux machine, which is there, for which first you have to establish connection to your Linux machine. Let me go to my EC2, where we had created our machines. I have to do my instances. And earlier, in this videos you might have seen, we had created one Linux machine here, and that machine I would like to establish the connection. Okay, so that was a Terraform machine. I would like to go back here and start the instance. That means I'm starting the machine. As you can see, the machine is now running. I would like to click on this and establish the connection. I would like to go and get connected. Let me just go to my downloads here, where we had kept our PEM file. So right click, I would like to just open the git bash here. So show mode, we have an option of opening the git bash, and I could able to open the git bash successfully. And you can see here, let me just zoom it out, and we just have to add our SSH. I would like to give me permission first so that I can get connected here. I'll say here, right click, paste it. It will give the permissions. And now I would like to go back to my AWS account, where we have a Linux machine. Now this is just a process of getting connected to our Linux VM, which we had created there. Okay, so I would like to just paste it. Now I'm able to get connected here. This machine earlier we had created, and we had installed the Terraform also here. Okay, so let me just check once again. I'll say Terraform -v. I think it is successfully installed. Now, in order to set these access key and the security key here in this machine, you just have to use export, followed by, it is like setting the environmental variable, and whatever way we are setting here, again it is a temporary way. If you close this CLI, again if you are getting connected back to this Linux machine, then again you have to set these environmental variables. Every time you get connected again to the machine, every time you may have to pass this credentials, you have to set this into the environmental variables. If not, you'll not be able to run your Terraform script, because it is required. That is the security credentials. Okay, so now I just have to add here AWS. I would like to say here access and key ID equals to, I have to specify that. Let me just take that which we had done. I had saved it. Okay, I would like to copy this, and I would like to this. Okay, fine. And now again we just have to say here export. I would like to say here AWS secret access key. I would like to go back and say here access and key, and you have to now specify the secret access key. Now the environmental variables for our Linux machine is also set. Basically, these credentials are required when you are running the Terraform script in order to provision the infrastructure on your AWS cloud, which specifies who you are and whether you have a authority in order to create or provision a particular resource on the AWS. This is very, very important step. Now we need to understand the architecture of this Terraform, what exactly or what are the important components comes into the picture, and then we shall start the journey of writing scripts or writing code with Terraform. Now we need to understand the Terraform architecture, the important Terraform commands which we run often. To start with, in order to write the script in Terraform, we use one specific language as we have discussed, which is HCL, HashiCorp Configuration Language. This is what we use in order to write our scripts. Now using the HCL, the moment we write the script, we save that by using one extension called as .tf extension. Like for the Python, we use .py, for the Java, .java, right? And for a text file, .txt file. For a Terraform script file in HCL, the moment we write, we save that in .tf extension. After which, the next command which we write here is Terraform init command in order to initialize your Terraform script. All the required plugins which you have mentioned in the provider, that will be installed, which we'll see practically also moving forward, right? This is very, very important command to initialize your Terraform script. After which we do run some of the commands, which is the Terraform format command in order to format your Terraform script, which is an optional step. Maybe some of the spaces by using the HCL, you're writing the script, there is a problem with ident spacing, right? All this formatting will be done with the Terraform format command, which is an optional step. It is not compulsory for you that after initializing you may have to format. It is optional step. If you feel that everything has to be proper, if by chance you might have done some mistake with respect to spacing and other aspects, you can format that. And then we have one more option called as Terraform validate command, okay, to validate the syntax of your script, whether everything is fine or not. You can run this. This is also an optional step, but highly recommended. After we initialize, we run the Terraform format and Terraform validate to make sure that everything is fine, the syntax and all the things we have written in our Terraform is fine. And then before we actually apply this, before we make Terraform to create resources on the cloud, we also run one more command called as Terraform plan, which will create the execution plan, that what resources will be created, what resources will be destroyed, or what resources will be changed, all which is going to be applied. It will give you the plan, execution plan, that these are the things which are going to happen the moment you run this Terraform script. What will happen before that actually happens? It will just give you the execution plan, that these are the things going to happen if you execute this. And once you are okay with the plan, the moment you see the execution plan, that if I run these all the changes, these all the resources which will be created on the cloud, then you can use one command called as Terraform apply. Terraform apply is the actual command which will execute your Terraform script, or you can say which is responsible to create the resources on your cloud, right? Whatever may be here in your Terraform script, you have asked to create a S3 bucket, right? And the moment you say Terraform apply, it will definitely create a S3 bucket on your AWS cloud, right? So this is the actual final step wherein the resources which you want to create after you apply, that will be created. The resources which you want to create using the Terraform, the moment you say Terraform apply, the changes will be applied and the resources on your cloud will be created. Now, whatever resources you have created using the Terraform, if you want to delete that, right? If you want to, destroy that resources, then we use one more command called as Terraform destroy. Okay. And this is the command we use in order to destroy the resources which got created the moment you run the Terraform. And using the Terraform destroy command, you can destroy all the resources which got created using the Terraform. These are the steps. So it is destroys depends on whether you want to delete that resources which got created. However, in order to create or provision the resources on the cloud using the Terraform, final command is Terraform apply. And the moment you do that, a state file also gets created, about which I'm going to talk going forward when we discuss this practically. These are the very, very important commands. Format command, validate command, they are optional. The moment you save this, you can initialize, you can create the execution plan. This is very, very important step. You cannot miss this. After which you can just write the Terraform applied. You can just hit this command and all your resources will be created. These are the commands which we are going to execute. So just to summarize here, we use whenever we write a script using the Terraform, we save that using the .tf extension. Then we have to initialize it by using Terraform init, which will install all the required plugins which you have mentioned in the provider, and it will basically initialize your Terraform script. Then we can format that and validate and check for the syntax and if everything is fine, and then you have to go for the execution plan by executing Terraform plan. Once you are satisfied with the plan, that what is going to happen the moment you execute this Terraform script, you can use Terraform apply in order to finally provision, or you can say create the resources on the cloud. These steps we are going to see practically going forward. Now let's write our first Terraform script. Okay, we will be writing that on our Linux machine which we have created on the AWS. We will also write our script on locally on the VS Code. Both the approaches. For the first script I will show you. Moving forward, you can decide you would like to continue on the Linux machine which we have on the AWS and work with Terraform, or you want to work locally, right? The first thing is you have to set the environmental variables which we have seen earlier, the access key and the secret key. If not, you can add this in your Terraform script also. I would like to set in my environmental variables. I would like to just go back here and paste it. I'm just exporting this because without the access key and secret key, you cannot create any resources on the AWS cloud. Let me just add this. Apart from that, I would like to also export the secret key, and you will get the secret key and access key. I have in this series shown you how to create this and how to get this. Fine. So let me just hit this. Now it is set. Now after this is done, I would like to just clear this, and I would like to first create the directory. I'll say kdir, and I would like to create a directory. I'll say here maybe 0101 Terraform script for the EC2. Okay, that's the name of the folder, the directory. I would like to get into this. I'll say here cd 01 and Terraform. I would like to say here EC2. Okay. Now I'm inside this. Now here is where I would like to open my visual editor and I would like to write my first script. In the Linux, this is how we do. If you're a Windows user and if you want to continue on the VS Code, it is little more easier. I would like to just go back here. I'll say vi, and I would like to create one file. Maybe I'll say here main.tf. Okay, that's the name of my file I have given here. All right, I would like to open this. Let me go to the insert mode. I'll keep an assumption that if you are learning Terraform or any of the DevOps tool, you might be knowing about the bash shell scripting, you might be knowing about the Linux command, because these are very, very important, right? Now here we have to write two things. Number one, we have to write about the provider. Which provider are we using? Okay, that information you have to provide. And the second information is, by using that particular provider, what are the resources you would like to create? These two things are very, very crucial here. Now, since I would like to go with the AWS, I would like to say here, I'm going to use AWS. This is the provider I'm going to use. And here you have to specify the region, on which region you want to create this. Let me just say here, region equals to, and I would like to just specify the region, for which you just have to go to your AWS account, right? And you'll get here Asia Pacific region. And Asia, right now I'm this, based on the location you are in, you can specify the region AP South 1. Okay, AP South 1. So let me open here and I would like to specify AP South 1. Fine. And here you may also have to specify the access keys and the security key, just in case if you have not set that in the environment variables. If you have not set that, then within the script, here is where we also specify the secret key and the access key ID. Since we have already provided, so we need not to give that because we have set that in the environmental variables, right? And now after which I would like to just specify here, what is the resource you want to create? It is the predefined. This keyword is a predefined, then you can give alias name to it. Maybe alias name I would like to give it as, the resource I want to create is, I want to create a new Linux virtual machine. I want to create a new Linux virtual machine. That is the alias. Okay. What is the name? This is a predefined. You will get this in the official Terraform document itself. I want to create the AWS instance. So let me write down here. I have specified here. Now, within this, I have to specify the remaining details. I want to create a Linux machine by using this script. I don't want to go to the web console and manually create a Linux machine. On the EC2, I want to create by executing the Terraform script. That is the main goal here, right? So I would like to specify here. First, you have to specify the instance type which you need. You have to specify the key name. You have to specify the security groups. You can also give the name to it, which is the tag. These are the details we have to specify. So let me just say here, first of all, AMI. What is the image type you want to go with, right? And then I would like to specify here the instance type. I'll say here, after the instance type, you can specify the key name you would like to use. I would like to go with the key name, and then I would like to just go with the security groups. Whatever it takes when you are creating the AWS, EC2 instance on your AWS account, whatever it takes there, whatever you see that with the help of UI, you're writing that here. Okay. I would like to go back and say here security groups. Okay. Security groups. You can also specify multiple security groups. Okay. You can write the array here. That is like you want to give multiple security groups. You can give that. And apart from that, we have to give the tags. Okay, so let me just write here tags, and within this I would like to specify the name, right? So let me specify the name here. I would like to go back and let me just give the name. Okay, I'll say here name. And what is the name you want to give? Whatever name you want, you can give here. I would like to give the name here as maybe I would like to say here Telusko Terraform Linux machine. Any name you want, you can give. This much of lengthy name is not needed, but I just would like to show this is the name of the VM when it is getting created, right? Now these things you can get it from your AWS account itself. What is the AMI type you want to create, right? And what is the instance type, whether it is a free tier, right? If you are creating this, I hope you know the fundamentals, because Terraform is a alternative to provision or create the infrastructure on the AWS cloud. You must be having the other basic idea about the infrastructure on the cloud. So I just have to specify all these details here. Let me just go back to my AWS account and get that here. Let me just go to my instances, and whenever you are creating the instances, right, you'll be getting the AMI type also. Even if you just go to the maybe launch instance, you can see here what is the type of the AMI you want to create. Maybe I want to go with the Amazon here. We have an option here. So I would like to just take what is the instance type, this t2.micro. You can specify. You can see here we have the AMI ID. I would like to just take that AMI ID. Okay. If you want to go with the Amazon Linux, that's the AMI ID. I would like to just open here and would like to specify this type here within the double quotes. Okay. So let me just right click and paste this. And after which you can specify the instance type also. I would like to just go back. I would like to go with the free tier, which is t2.micro, right? So I want to create a free tier account here. So I would like to just come down here within the double quote. I would like to specify to t2.micro. That's the instance type I want to create, right? And it's a one-time process. Same thing can be repeated. You should not think that it is easier to go with the UI. You can maybe create 10 instances with just one script. If you want to do so, at the top you just have to say count equal to 10, count equal to 20. In that case, 20 instances will be created, right? I hope it is making sense. So you can create multiple also, and there is a better way to write this Terraform script. I'll talk about the concept of Terraform variables, where we need not to add this manually in our main Terraform file. We can just keep that in the variables and create separately, which moving forward slowly we will understand, right? So now this is the type, and what's the key pair we have used? I think we have used the Terraform. At the time of we had created this, right? So which is the key pair you want to use? I would like to use the existing key pair, so which we had created. So let me just check. The one which we had created earlier, it is Terraform underscore key pair. Okay, so Terraform underscore key pair. For the first time when we created the instance, that time we had also created the key pair. I want to use that same key pair here in order to create this. And now this is a requirement of not Terraform. This is the requirement in order to create the resource on the AWS. Even if you're creating the EC2 instance on your AWS by using the web UI console, these things are required. These things will be there in front of you in the form of UI. Now these things we are writing in the script. Okay, I would like to specify, I would like to go with the default group. Okay, this is our Terraform script. Now I want to save this, escape, and I would like to save here colon w keep. This is about the bash shell scripting, or you can say the Linux command. If you have learned the Linux, you will be knowing about this. Now let me just check if everything is fine. I would like to just open this and check. I think looks fine for now. Okay, now I would like to just go and start my execution. How do we start? Let me just clear this first of all, and I would like to say the first command which we have to write is Terraform init. Okay, let me just make it Terraform init. I'm initializing it. You can see it will be initialized It's taking some time, but it will be initialized. Okay. And once it is initialized, we can just format this and we can validate. I hope you have gone through the Terraform architecture, which we have seen, right? It is taking some time and it is getting initialized. You can see it is successfully initialized. I would like to go back and now say Terraform validate. These two commands are optional command. It is recommended to go with so that if everything is fine with it. Okay. Terraform validate. It is validating the syntax of your Terraform file. And I hope everything is fine here. So let's wait. It is validating the Terraform. There is an error. There is an error. We have done some mistake there. You can see in the resource AWS instance, some mistake is there here. So we have to rectify that. Let me just check. I'll say here main. Let me open that vi main.tf. Okay. I would like to open this. And here we have done some mistakes. So let me just see. And it looks fine. Maybe let me go to the insert mode. I think there is a small mistake with respect to the syntax. Yes, we have to just give here equal to. Okay, now it looks fine. I would like to just again save this. And that's the reason, validating is very, very important. I would like to just go back here, Terraform format, and it is formatting all the spaces. You can see it, cat main.tf. It is now in the proper format. See, all the equal to all this were not in the proper format. Now they are in the proper format. And now I would like to validate this, for which I'll say Terraform validate. And it is validating now. I hope there will be no issues for now. Let's check that. The configuration is valid. Okay, these two are the important commands. After which we just have to go and plan our execution. Terraform plan. That's what I have to execute here. You can see Terraform plan. Okay, it is planning that what will happen if you run this. Okay, you will be getting the entire execution plan. You can see plan 1 to add, 0 to change. We are not changing the existing resources. We are not destroying. We are adding a new resource. 1 to add, what it will add. You can see all the details. You can see here. One AWS instance will be created for this AMI. That means I'm going to create Amazon. So now I can just run the Terraform apply. Okay, I would like to just go back and say Terraform apply. Terraform apply is the actual command which will create the resources, which will provision the resources. I would like to just hit this, and one resource should be created. It will take some time. Very quickly, within few seconds or less than a minute, the resources will be created. Okay, it is asking me. We can also, at the time of we writing the apply, right, we can also write one command beside the apply, -- auto approve. If you have done that, it will not ask your approval. It is just telling that this is the resource I want to create. Would you like to continue? Yes. And if you had given there auto approve, Terraform apply -- auto approve, then it will not ask the permission. Since I had not given the auto approve, it is asking me the permission. So let me just say yes. And you can see AWS instance. Linux VM is the alias name. It is just creating one. A Linux machine. Okay, I'm just waiting. Okay, still creating. It'll take some time. You can see apply completed and one added. Let me go to my AWS account. If I have to go to my AWS account, if I have to go to my instances, see, I would like to just refresh it. If I refresh it, we'll be seeing Telusko Terraform. That's the name we had given here, right? See, a new resource got created. That means using the Terraform script successfully, we were able to provision one of the resource on the AWS cloud, which is a Linux machine. Now it is successfully able to create it. Now, by chance, if you don't want this to be there, then you can destroy also, for which you can say Terraform. I'll say destroy. Okay, you can give auto approve also. It will not ask you any permission. I'll say auto approve. It is an optional step, but you can do it. If I just click on this, it is destroying whatever resources created with the Terraform script. Same is getting destroyed. Okay, so let me just run this. It will take some time. It is refreshing the state, and it is successfully able to destroy. Want to destroy AWS instance, destroying. It will not take much time. Within less than 1 minute, this will be destroyed. Okay. As you can see, it is now destroyed. It took 1 minute of time, but the resource is destroyed. Whatever resource was created, that will be destroyed. If I just have to refresh, you can see it is terminated. It is deleted. This resource, a Linux machine which was created, that is now destroyed, that is now deleted, right? So this is the way, but this we have done in our Linux machine. We had installed the Terraform, and there is where we had run this. Now locally on your Windows machine also we had installed, we had configured the environmental variables. Now using the VS Code ID, same script I would like to write, and I would like to demonstrate the same steps which we had done there. Now let's run the same script on locally on our Windows machine, for which I have opened the VS Code on a folder Terraform script. Here I would like to create one directory, one folder. I would like to give the name as 01 application. Any name you want you can give. And within this folder, I would like to create a new file. Okay. The file I would like to give it as maybe 01 Terraform EC2 script. Okay. EC2.tf. It should be .tf. I would like to say .tf. Okay. Let me just give it as .tf. Fine. Now one script is created. We have a file .tf file, and here's where the same which we had run, right, the same commands I would like to keep it. All right. Just I'll make small changes so that you can understand. I would like to say here alien in place of Telusko. I would like to give it as alien, so that you can understand that whatever resources is getting created, it is happening with the help of local also. I would like to copy from here, and it is the same script which we have seen earlier on the Linux machine when we tried to execute the same. Let me just add this, and it is added. Okay. I would like to now save this. Everything is saved, and we had already set the environmental variables, access key and the security key. In the videos in the same series, you'll find the video wherein how to set the what is the need and how to set the access key and the security key. We have done that. Okay, I need not to specify the access key and security key in my Terraform script because that is already been set in the environment variables. Okay, it is now saved. After which I would like to just go here. I would like to open a new terminal. You can see the terminal will be opened, and you can see here it is right now in this folder. I want to get into this folder, so I would like to say here cd. I would like to say 01 application. Okay, right now it is in the 01 application. I would like to just go back. You can see now, as you all know, we have seen this Terraform init is the first command which we have to run, and it is installing all the required the plugins as per the provider information. And you can see .terraform, a file is created here, and it will not take much time, and it's successfully installed. A log file is created, and after which you just have to go and run here Terraform. I would like to go with maybe format just to check if everything is fine. Yes, and now Terraform, I would like to just go with the validate command. Just to validate, these are optional steps, but it is recommended so that your syntax is fine. There is no problem in it. Okay, it is validating, it is successful. Now I would like to go with the Terraform plan. You can directly apply, but plan is recommended. Execution plan, like if you execute this particular script, what will be the case, right? So I would like to just wait for it. It is planning. Okay, there is a fail in the plan. Terraform encoded an error while generating this plan. Retrieving the AWS account details, validating the provider credentials. There is some problem with respect to the IDs, the access key ID. There is a problem here. No problem. If there is a problem, that means environmental variables that has not set properly. That's the meaning of it. Locally, when we had tried to set the environmental variables for the access key ID and the secret key, maybe there is some problem there. I might have not added the proper keys. That should not be a major matter of concern. You can do that. In that case, I could just add that locally on my, in the script itself. So let me just do that here. As you can see, I have added that here. I would like to just save it. And now again, I would like to reprocess. I would like to say here Terraform init. It is initializing. Formatting, I think it's fine. If you want, you can do this formatting also. Okay. It will reinitialize everything. And now I would like to say Terraform format, and then it is Terraform validate. I would like to validate this. And now finally, I just have to run the command Terraform plan. If validation is fine, let me just check if the syntax is correct. It is successful. I would like to say Terraform plan. Okay. Now let's see if it is creating any problem here. Terraform plan, it is planning. Okay. Since now I have given the access key, it should not create any problem. Maybe in the environmental variables locally, there is some issues. Apart from that, I would like to say here, Terraform, I would like to say here apply. Okay, I would like to apply this. Since we have not specified the auto approve at the time of using the Terraform apply command, we just have to say here yes, it will ask the permission. Okay, now it is creating the machine. It will take some time. Within less than a minute almost, the resource can be created, right? Now, using the concept of variables, we can see how these things can be stored separately. We have to achieve modularity also, about which we will talk. And this is one of the way. This is, we are just creating the AWS instance, EC2 machine. You can create something else also, some other resources also, which we will explore as we proceed further. Okay, it is still creating it. It has taken more than 30 seconds of time. Okay, now you can see it is completed. It is able to create. The moment it is able to create, one state file gets generated, right? State file is very, very important file. Okay, so that gets generated the moment you create this. More on the state file we will discuss going forward in this particular series. Let me go back to my AWS account. I would like to just refresh this. Okay, you can see guys, a Linux Terraform, an alien Terraform Linux machine, a new machine got created. A new resource we could able to create. We could able to provision a resource on the AWS cloud using the Terraform script. Now, two things we have seen. We got connected to the Linux virtual machine. Using that machine, we could able to run our Terraform scripts locally also on the Windows machine on our VS Code ID. We could able to do that. Now, based on your preference, your choice going forward, whichever way you want, you can follow that and you can keep practicing whatever we are discussing in this series. Now, we could able to successfully run our first Terraform script. We shall see more going forward. Now, one more important thing which we need to understand is about the state file, right? State file, I'm referring to terraform.tf state. This file gets created automatically the moment you run Terraform apply. Terraform apply is a command which we use in order to run our or execute our Terraform script, right? The moment you run that, the moment you say Terraform apply, automatically this tf state file gets created, which maintains the current state of the infrastructure. It maintains the information about the infrastructure which got created using the Terraform, the instances ID, right? It could be the metadata and so and so. All the information like what Terraform has done, that entire state will be automatically stored inside this file. This file will be automatically created and all these details will be maintained here. And the moment you apply Terraform destroy in order to destroy the infrastructure, the resources which you have created using the Terraform, destroy command, it refers to this state file only in order to delete these resources, right? Let me just show you one thing. Let me open this and redo this step once again. I would like to just check everything I've deleted from here. And right now we have main.tf. Also remember that whenever you're writing any Terraform script, create a separate directory. In every directory, there should be a Terraform script. And if you want to run some maybe 5 different scripts, please create 5 different directories, right? So that's how it should be followed. Now we have main.tf and let me initialize everything here. I will say here the first command, as everyone knows, Terraform. I would like to just init. And the other two steps, Terraform validate and Terraform format, they are optional. They are not compulsory. Since it is already configured, I would like to directly go for Terraform plan, right? Let me just go for a Terraform plan. It will just give me a plan that what resources will be created, right? So it is creating the plan. And now I would like to apply the real command, which is Terraform apply. Okay. Now I will hit this. Since I am not told auto approve, it will ask me the permission whether it has to create the resource, right? So let it take some time. Now it is asking me, I would like to just say here yes, and it will take few seconds of time and the resource will be created. As you can see, the resource is created here, right? So let me just go to my AWS account and verify if the resource is already created. I would like to go to my instances and if I just have to refresh it, you'll see a new resource which will be created here. Okay, so let me just refresh once again. You can see Telusko Terraform Linux. This is the resource which got created just now. Okay, now I would like to just go back here and let me just clear this. Again, if I check ls-l, you can see here, you are getting this Terraform TF state file. This is the state file. Earlier, when we had checked before we run the Terraform apply, only main.tf was there. Right now we have terraform.tf state. This file got created the moment you have executed terraform apply. It maintains the information about the current state of infrastructure, like what got created with the help of Terraform. Now, in order to destroy the resources which got created with the help of Terraform, usually we write one command called as Terraform destroy. Now, how it will destroy? To destroy also, it will refer the state file. It will go to the state file and it will refer the information which is there, because state file maintains all the information about the infrastructure which got provision, which got created with the help of Terraform. And it will go and take the help of the state file, and based on the information available on the state file, it will destroy that. By chance, if you delete this state file, which is very crucial file, then you will not be able to destroy it. And before that, I would like to say here apply. Okay, I would like to say here apply once again. Already with the help of this Terraform script, we had already created one resources. State file got created, right? Now one more time I'm running the Terraform apply. Will it create a new resource? The answer is no, it will not create the new resource. Let me just execute this and it will take some time. As you can see, no changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration. How you are getting this information? When you try to rerun this Terraform apply, it will go to the state file and it will check if it has already created the infrastructure based on the information on the main.tf file, main Terraform file, whatever information is there. Based on that, if it is already created the infrastructure, it will go and check in the Terraform state, because Terraform state file will maintain the information about the infrastructure which got created. And when you just run this Terraform apply, it will go to the state file and check, and it will come to one conclusion that already the infrastructure is created based on the information on the main.tf, and there are no changes, no more changes. Whatever information is there, based on that information, the resource is created. It will check the state file, current status of your infrastructure, current state of your infrastructure, then it will not create one more resource, right? Now, if I have to go back here, and if I have to again refresh this multiple times, you'll see there will be only one machine which got created, only one machine. You can see again and again, if I run, it is only one machine. One more time, it is not created. Why it is not able to create? It is following the state file, and by going to the state file, it is checking like yes, it has been already created. Just in case, I would like to do one thing here. If you want to see what is there in the state file, I'll say here cat terraform.tf state, terraform.tf state, TF state, that is a Terraform state file. You can see all the information in the form of JSON, the current state of the infrastructure which got created with the help of Terraform, right? Now let me just clear this, and I would like to say ls-l. Now I would like to delete this state file. Okay, please see the difference here. I would like to say remove this. It is not recommended. Just to demonstrate, I am just deleting this. Okay, in general, it is not recommended to delete this state file. Let me just hit this, and now again I would like to say ls-l. You can see we don't have this state file. Again, I would like to run Terraform apply, and if I just hit this, you can see it is asking plan 1 to add. Do you want to add this? I would like to just say yes, and you can see it is creating one more machine. Why? There is no state file available. If you again run Terraform apply n number of times, a machine will be created. A same machine will be created, because there is no Terraform state file here, because the Terraform state file I have deleted, right? Earlier, when we had the Terraform state file, and again when we tried to run the Terraform apply, it did not create any resources. It told there is no need to change anything, right? No resource was created. Now, after I deleted the state file, again when I apply, see, one more resource got created. If I have to go back here, and if I have to just refresh this, you can see one more machine got created. See, Telusko Terraform Linux, Telusko Terraform Linux. Two machines got created for the same configuration, right? Now, for the second machine, the Terraform state file will be created. I would like to just clear this. Okay, and now I would like to just say ls-l. You can see we have this Terraform state file. Now again, if I say Terraform maybe apply, it will not create any resource, because state file is available. So even if you are trying to destroy something, it will go through the state file only, and then it will destroy. Okay, now you can see no changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration. apply complete, but how many resources added? 0 resources added. I hope it is making sense here, right? Unless and until there are changes in the main.tf file, it will not create a new resource because it is the same resource. It will go and check the Terraform Statefile. Oh, and it will check the main Terraform script. This, based on this configuration which are available in the main Terraform file, the infrastructure is already created because that details are already there in the state file. I don't think so I should create once again. I'll come to a conclusion that based on the configuration which is there in the main Terraform file, already the infrastructure has been created. I need not to create once again. And how it is able to decide based on the state file. And just now when I deleted the state file, again I tried to run the Terraform apply. It doesn't have any information about what had happened earlier because there is no state file. There is no information on the current state of the infrastructure. In that case, it was creating infrastructure once again, right? However, this Terraform state file is very, very important. You should not delete. And even if you go for destroy, example, if I say here Terraform destroy, let me just do it auto approve because I don't want it to ask me permission. I'll say here auto approve. Okay, I want to destroy this, and now it will able to destroy these resources, whatever resources we created, right? If you want to destroy that, whatever resources got created with the help of Terraform, if you want to delete that, if you want to destroy that, then you just have to apply Terraform destroy. And this Terraform destroy, the moment you run this, it will go to the state file only in order to check what resources are there, so that I can delete that, I can destroy that. Now, if I run this, it is able to destroy all the resources because of the state file. And if you delete the state file and if you try to run the destroy, it will not be able to destroy. It doesn't have any information to destroy. Like, what is the state of the infrastructure which I want to destroy? Because state file is the one which will maintain what Terraform had already done. Now, if state file is not there, how Terraform will get to know that what I have to delete? Because in the state file everything was there. State file is deleted. Now it will not be able to destroy. Now it is able to destroy because state file is present. It is very, very important file which you have to take care. Also, we will have one file called as backup file, right? I would like to demonstrate that also here. Let's wait till it get destroyed. We can see now it has been destroyed. I would like to just clear this. I'll say here ls-l. Now we have a state file. We have a backup file also. Backup file is a backup of the state file. It is a backup of the state file. And by chance, if you make any new changes here, example, I'll do one thing. For now, let me just delete these files which got created. I would like to delete everything. And I want to demonstrate one thing here. Let me just go back. Or maybe I'll do one. Okay, let me just go back here. And I would like to delete this file also. Okay. And it is not recommended to delete this. Okay. I want to demonstrate one thing here. This it's not there. Okay, sorry. I would like to forward this. And now I'm deleting this backup file also. Okay. I'm deleting this backup file. And now if I have to clear this ls-l, we have only this. Okay. ls-l. We have only this now. I would like to say Terraform, initialize this. It will initialize. It will take some time. Formatting and validating, we have seen earlier. It is in the proper format and the syntax is correct. I need not run that again. I'll say here Terraform plan. You should always plan first, but I would like to just apply. Okay, because we already know the plan of the current script which we are running. We have seen that earlier. Okay, I'll say here auto approve. Let me just run this. And if I'm running this, please kindly focus here. You can see here the resource is created, right? That's fine. We have seen that earlier also. I want you to understand one thing, that ls-l, if I say, you can see state file got created, right? Now I would like to make some changes in the main dot. Of course, if I say once again Terraform dot apply, will it recreate the resource? No, because of state file, it will go and check the state file. And you'll check the main file. All this configuration, already the resource is created because that is there in the state file. That information is available. I'll not create a new, right? So please here, no changes have been made. Now I would like to just say vi main.tf. If I have to, okay, open this, you have an option to edit. I'll do one thing here. I'll make the changes here. Okay, I'll make some changes here. Maybe I would like to just go back here. I'll say here maybe AI Telusko. Okay. So some just to give some changes. Okay. I would like to save this. Some changes I have made here. Okay. Let me just save this file. And once again, I would like to say Terraform. I would like to just say here, Terraform apply. Terraform. I would like to just apply this, right? The moment I'm applying this, it'll take some time and it will ask me, see, it is asking me permission because there is a change in the main TF file, the main Terraform script file. It is like, yeah, the new resource has to get created because it will go and check. And now please here, the new resource is not getting created here. Rather, the changes have been made. One changed. And the moment one change, I want you to observe this thing. Okay. I'll say ls-l backup file got created. Now, whatever new changes you have made, right, with respect to the name, tag name, based on that, when you have reran the Terraform apply, some changes happen in that existing resource. And whatever changes happen, that information will be maintained in the Terraform state. Terraform state file will maintain the current state of your infrastructure. The new change you have made, you have changed the name of the tag. Based on that, in the Terraform state file also the information will be available with respect to new changes we have already made. Now whatever earlier we had some other thing earlier, right, and that backup will be created here. Backup file will maintain the older state information. So what it exactly does is you have run this once again and you had made some changes, right? Whatever new changes have been made, the resource will be updated and that information will be available in the state file, the current status, the current state of your infrastructure. Now, before that, earlier, some information was already available in the state file. There is that information. For that older information, one backup file will be created. Backup file will have the information of the older state file. Because any changes you make in the main Terraform script, and if you reapply, then those changes will be implemented in the resources and that current state of the infrastructure will be maintained in the Terraform state file. And earlier, some information was already available in the Terraform state file based on the previous run of the Terraform script. That information will be, one more backup file will be created and that information will be maintained in the backup file. I hope you could able to differentiate the difference between the state file and the backup file, which are very, very crucial files. Practically, I have shown, I could have just told in 2-3 minutes, but I wanted to show this practically because this is very, very crucial. Now let's write one more Terraform script. This time we are creating the EC2 VM, but with the user data. In the AWS, we have a concept of user data. That is, you are creating a virtual machine as a web server. At the time of machine creating, you are also hosting a basic static website. Okay, we have a concept of user data. It's like you hosting a static website at the time of resource creation. For the same, I would like to do that with the help of Terraform script, right? So now I have got connected to my Linux machine. Okay, then I have also set the environment variables where I have passed the access key and the secret key. Everything is set. Now I would like to just create one directory. Every time we create a Terraform script, it is recommended to create a directory. I would like to say mkdir. And I would like to create one directory 02. I would like to say we have a Terraform script for EC2 machine, which acting like a web server. Okay, web server. That's the name I have given here, right? And now I have to get into this. I would like to say, please go inside this particular machine. Let me just ask this. Okay, done. Right now, I just have to go inside this. And now, first, I would like to create one shell script, a bash shell scripting. I hope those who are watching knows the fundamentals of shell scripting and fundamentals of the Linux commands. Only then you can understand any DevOps tool. Those are very, very crucial for any DevOps engineer. Fine. Now, I would like to just create one shell script wherein we host a basic, we will have a script to host the basic static website. Okay. So for which I'll give the name as we have to, to install the, to host the static website, we should have some of the packages also. I would like to write a script which will install HTTPD package and also host a static website. Okay. I would like to say install HTTPD.sh. That's the name I have given here. Now let me just hit the enter key. I would like to go to the insert mode, for which I have made the arrangement, the script which is responsible to host a static website. I would like to just take this. Okay. And this is something which you might have done at the time of you learning the bash shell scripting or maybe the basics of AWS. I would like to take this particular script from here, and I would like to go back to this and add this. This is not responsible for creating any machine. This is a basic shell script which will install the HTTPD package, also host one basic static website. Okay. Now after which I would like to just save this. It's done. Now I have to create my actual shell script. I would like to say here, actual the Terraform script. I would like to say main.tf. Now it is created, and the same script which we have used earlier, and with one difference here. Okay, what is the difference? I would like to talk. We have to have one difference here, that we have to invoke this particular bash shell script which we have created, right? That we have to invoke from this script, because at the end of the day we are going to execute this particular Terraform script, and inside the script somewhere I have to invoke the other shell script which we have created, right? The install http.sh, that file I have to invoke from this particular Terraform file, because we are going to execute this Terraform file, right? So now let me just add that one line here. So I would like to just go here, and I would like to just say here user data, I would like to say equals to, and here I would like to specify file, which is a file, and I have to specify the name of the file. So let me just do this. I would like to say here the name which we had given there was install httpd.sh, right? So now I would like to just save this. I have saved. Done. Now I have to give some permission for this file so that it can install the HTTP, that required web server which is required to host the static website, that we have kept it here, and that we have invoked inside this file. Now I have to give the permission for this file so that it can install the required web servers. Okay, for which I have to say a chmod, and I would like to say here u plus x, the execute permission. I'm asking like please provide the execute permission for this file called as install httpd.sh, right? So these two steps we are doing extra here, that is not exactly related to the Terraform. Here what we are doing is, I want to create a resource on my AWS which is EC2 instance, and that EC2 instance I want to create by hosting a static website. It should act like a basic web server, right? Now for the static website, I'm doing this extra arrangement of installing the HTTPD server and also giving that permission to it. Now the permission will be granted. Now we have to execute this main Terraform file, because inside this I have done the code which will invoke this particular sh shell script also. Fine. Now let me just go here. As you all know, the command which we have seen earlier, Terraform init, right? It is initializing. It will take some time, and the Terraform file will be initialized. And once it is initialized, we may have to run the other Terraform commands. Now it is successfully initialized. I would like to say here Terraform maybe formatting, which is optional step. Terraform, let me just validate it. I would like to validate and check if everything is fine. Validation looks fine, the syntax is correct. Now I would like to just directly you can apply, but recommended to go for the plan. See the execution plan first, Terraform plan, and let me just see the plan. If everything is fine, what exactly it will do? It will give you the plan, a blueprint, and then based on that you can execute. If not directly you can execute, but that's not recommended. One to add. Okay, now I would like to go with Terraform apply, and I want this to auto approve. So I would like to say auto approve. It will not ask you again, do you want to proceed further or not? Automatically it will go and create that instance. Okay, Terraform apply, auto approve. Let me just hit this, and it will start to create the resource. Let's see if it is creating such a Linux machine which is acting like a web server with some static a website. Okay, so the same concept of user data, right? So now it is telling one to add, and it will take few seconds of time, and that machine should be created. As you can see, it says that it is successfully able to create the machine. Let me just go to my AWS account and I would like to go to my instances and let me just refresh. If we have that instance here, I would like to just refresh it. You can see we have one instance, Telusko web server, which got created here. I would like to just go here and wait for some moment because still it is initializing. Okay. So after a few seconds, I would like to try to access that with the public IP. Now let me just take the public IP and check if it is installed. I would like to just go here and paste the public IP, and if I just hit this, we should be getting this option, Telusko learning. That means we could able to create a web server on our AWS which is hosting a static website. The concept of user data. User data refers to you creating an instance on AWS alongside a basic static website which is acting like a web server, right? We could able to create a EC2 VM with user data by using the Terraform script. We did not do that manually. We did not use the AWS web user console. We have done that by executing the Terraform script.
Now let's understand about one more concept, which is variables in Terraform, right? Variable in any technology or any programming language or anywhere comes into picture whenever you want to store the data. What we have done is in both the cases, we have created the Linux server, we have created the Linux machine. One directly we just created, one which is hosting a static website, which is with the user data, right? In both the cases, everything, the provider information and resource information also we had hard coded within the resource section of main.terraform script file, right? Everything was available within one file and all the values within the resource section we had hard coded, right? This is what we have done. Now with the help of the concept of variables, we can make it more dynamic. I'm referring to whenever maybe in future you want to change the AMI type, then you can just change the value here. You need not to open the actual main Terraform script. If you have maintained that separately in a separate file with the help of the concept of variables, there you can make the changes. Here you need not to make the changes. So if you hard code everything here, maybe right now the instance type which you're going to create is t2.micro and you want to make it to t3.micro. Maybe you want to change the type of the instance. In that case, you have to change the main.terraform script. It will not be dynamic. So with the help of the concept of variables, you can create a separate file where you are storing your variables, and any changes you want, you can make the changes inside that file. You need not to come to the main Terraform script and keep making the changes. Also, you need not to give the provider information within one file. It will be more modular if you maintain separately. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to create three separate files here. Number one, I'll say VI. I'm just opening the editor here. This is the Linux command. I'm going to create one variable, one file, Terraform file called as variables.terraform file. I'm going to create one more Terraform file, which is the main.terraform, where actual resource information will be available. Apart from that, I'm going to just create one more. Apart from this, I would like to just provide here provider.terraform, where I'll maintain the provider information. Three files I would like to create here. VI, it's not the name of the file actually. VI is all about visual editor in the Linux. VI refers to visual editor where you can just write something. Okay, that's not related to the Terraform. Anyway, now three files I'll create, and inside this I'm going to create the variables. I'll say here variable, and whatever is the variable name you want. This is to store the AMI value. I would like to give the variable name as AMI, right? Now within this, maybe I would like to give why this variable is about. Okay, description, let me write here. And within this, I would like to just describe why we have this particular variable. Maybe I'll say here Amazon, Linux machine, Linux image information, whatever you want, you can give the description about the variable. And then with the help of default, and I would like to here specify the actual AMI value, right? So I would like to just take this value here and I would like to just specify here. Okay, and similar to this, I would like to create one more variable, and this variable will be about the instance type. Okay, so you can give some other name also. I would like to give instance type as the name here, and let me just cut back here and just provide the instance type as the name. I would like to just give here the name of this variable as instance type. Okay, fine. Now apart from that, okay, let me just remove this. It's not required. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, let me just go back here and give this name. All right, and now I would like to just give the description. Maybe I would like to just provide the description here as type of the instance. Okay, whatever description you want, you can give. I would like to say here type of instance, and maybe I would like to just also specify the type, which is t2.micro or t3.micro. Free version is what I'm using for my Mumbai region of AWS account. Okay, I have specified here. Correct. Now I need not to go here and make the changes. Whenever you are going to write a main script, right? In the main script, I would like to write this, what resource I'm actually going to create. I would like to write within this. Okay, all right. And here I'll not be writing any value, because this value I have stored inside variables.terraform script file separately within the variable. Now I have to access this variables here. I'm not going to hard code the values of my resources here, right? For which you just have to use here the dollar symbol. I would like to just mention here, and within this curly bracket, you can specify variable dot the AMI, the name of the variable which you have given here. It should be as it is. Okay. All right. Let me just close this. And similar to this, here also I am not going to specify t2.micro or t3.micro or any other instance type I want. Rather, I would like to just say here within this, okay, I would like to specify the dollar symbol within the curly bracket. I would like to say variable dot whatever the variable name we have given here, right? 3 separate files I'm going to maintain. Okay. All right. Let me just go back here and specify instance type. Whatever is the type of the instance, I mean, whatever is the variable name you have given here, it should be the same. Okay. This name you can give anything, but whatever name you have given here, you have to keep it same. Now I'm just trying to make it more dynamic. I'm not hard coding the actual values within my main Terraform script. I'm just maintaining that separately with the concept of variables. Actually, it is an input variable. More going forward, very short, we are going to understand what is output variables, what is input variables. However, with the help of this variable, I'm maintaining this separately, and these values I would like to access in my main Terraform script. And you can see in the main Terraform script, I'm not even giving the information about the provider. For that also we have maintained the file separately, and like here everything was within the same file. Now I have just made it more modular. Okay, now I would just go back here, and within this provider I'm going to just specify the information about this provider. Okay, that's what I have just done it. So everything will not be within one file. I have stored that in the different files. One is about the variables, and those variables I'm going to use in my main Terraform script. Now in future, if you want to make any changes with respect to the AMI value, with respect to the instance type, or for whatever you are creating the variables, you need not to edit or make any changes in your main Terraform script. You just have to go to the variables and make the changes. Okay, you can just change the values here, and here it will not be affected because the variable names. In future, you cannot just change the variable names. If you change, then again in the main.terraform script also, you may have to make the changes to access, right? So now let's do the same here. I would like to just go back to my Linux machine. I would like to, let me just close this. I would like to get connected to my Linux machine, the same Linux machine which we had, created here. I would like to first get connected to it. Let me just go back here, and I'm just trying to establish the connection. Okay. All right, the machine which we had created. All right, ls-l. Now I would like to create one more folder, one more directory. I would like to say create the directory with the name 03 Terraform script, or maybe this time I would like to say EC2 more modular, or EC2 variables concept, or anything. That's fine. Okay. Now I would like to get into this. I would like to say please go inside this particular folder. All right, EC2 vars. Okay, I have gone inside this. Right now we don't have anything here. ls-l, if I check, we don't have anything here. Okay, now I would like to create 3 files. Okay, first, number 1 is variables.terraform file, and inside this let me go to the insert mode, and whatever we had already defined here, I would like to keep this everything. Okay, I would like to copy from here. Okay, let me just take it from here, copy, and I would like to just add the same which we had already written. Okay, I have specified here. Okay, now I would like to just save this particular file. Again, I would like to say here main.terraform, where I'll give the actual resource information, okay, which we had already written earlier also, and here also, we had written that. I would like to just take it from here, the resource information. All right, and that's what we had it. I would like to just go back and add this resource information here. And if you want just to have a differentiating factor, intentionally I would like to give the name of my virtual machine is just a Linux VM. Okay, so that it's a new, you can understand that's the same machine is not getting created like the way maybe the previous script, just to say that it is a different script. Okay, so Linux VM is what I have given the name here. I would like to just save this particular file, and now I would like to create one more file, okay, which is the provider.terraform, and here I'll just give the information about the provider. Okay, I would like to just go back here and give the information about this particular provider. Okay, which cloud provider you're going to use, that's the information I have maintained here, right? So let me just go back here. All right, done. I would like to save this particular file as well. Now you can see we have 3 files. Everything is not available within one file. Now we shall start the usual commands. Number 1, Terraform init. I'm initializing the Terraform script. That's the first. It is initializing the backend, initializing the provider plugins. Okay. Now it is initializing within 1 minute of time. It will be initialized. You can see it is initialized, and as you all know, next is Terraform format. Okay, I'm just formatting. If everything's fine, it is formatted very well. After which I would like to just go back here and say Terraform validate. I'm just validating if everything is fine there and we have not made any mistake. All right, it looks fine for me. Yes, it is success. Let me just clear here. And now you all know, first we have to plan our execution. Okay, so Terraform plan, it will just tell what is going to execute, what is going to happen the moment you run the command Terraform apply, which we have seen earlier also. Okay, Terraform plan error. Terraform encountered an error while generating this plan. No valid credentials. All right, no valid credentials. That is security credentials. We don't have the security credentials, and every time you're reconnecting those environmental variables which we used to say, right, export, that used to get deleted every time you're recreating the CLI. I mean, you're connecting back to your Linux machine, and whenever you are creating the resources, you should have a security credentials, which we usually add that into the environment variables. Earlier about the security credentials we had seen it. Now I just have to export that before I go and provision the infrastructure. Let me just do that. As you can see, I have added the security credentials to the environmental variables because this is very, very important. Now let me again plan here. Terraform, I would like to just plan my resource here. Terraform, of course, we have to plan it. And let me see. It will just give you the plan of execution, what is going to happen. Okay, so it is planning. It will take some time. As you can see, as per the plan, one resource is going to get added. And now I would like to write the command which we usually write, which is Terraform apply, and I want this to be auto approved. It should not ask me permission whether it has to create or not. Auto. I would like to go back and say here approve. Okay, now the resource will be created. Okay, let's wait. As you can see, the resource is created. This time the same Linux machine would be created, a server would be created. However, it will be like we have just achieved more modularity here. We have not maintained or we have not kept everything within one file. Rather, we have divided the things into multiple files, provided in a separate file. And then we use the concept of variables, wherein we can pass the values to our main script dynamically, right? If there is a change in any of the values, we need not to make any changes in the main script. We just can make the changes in the variable script, and automatically those values will be passed to our main file. So let's go here and check if the resource is created. Let me go to my EC2, and I would like to just go to my instances. Okay, and you can see here we will be getting it Linux VM. okay, which is just initializing. Just now that machine is created. Now again, we could able to provision the infrastructure. We created the server, we created the Linux machine using the Terraform, but the way we have organized the files here is different from what we have done earlier. Right now, we have to understand a little more on the concept of variables before we proceed further.
Now, when it comes to the variables, there are two types of variable. One is the input variable, one is the output variables. Input variables is what we have used here, right? When we have created this, inside this variables.terraform script, we have used the input variables, which is going to provide input to the main Terraform script. In the Terraform script, we are going to take that data as an input, and that can be called as the input variables. We can also have the output variables. Output variables comes into picture whenever you want to know, or you want to print, or you want to give the details of the infrastructure which you have provisioned using the Terraform once it is created. That means after you execute the Terraform apply, the infrastructure which you are trying to create, that will be provisioned, that will be created. And once that is created, after the Terraform apply, if you want to print some of the values, right, and that's where the output variables comes into picture. In this case, maybe the moment this script we have executed in order to create the EC2 instance, in order to create the server, right? And the moment this machine is created, I want the public IP of that gets printed. Maybe I want the information about this VM gets created. Or maybe you are writing the Terraform script in order to provision the S3 bucket. And the moment S3 bucket is created, you want to print the information about the S3 bucket, right? And maybe you have written the Terraform script in order to create the IAM user. And the moment the script is successful, the IAM user is created, immediately here you want to print the information about the IAM user after the infrastructure is created. After the execution of your Terraform script, infrastructure is successfully created, which will happen after you execute the Terraform apply, and immediately you want to print that information. That's where the output variables comes into picture. Post infrastructure creation, output variable. And on your main script, if you want to pass some input, right, directly, you don't want to hard code the values there, then like the way we have done earlier in this series, we have to create a separate variables folder. You can hard code the values there, and dynamically from there you can pass it to your main script like the way we have done just now. Okay, now I just got disconnected to my VM machine. Let's connect back here. I would like to go back and take this. Of course, as you all know, I would like to just connect back to my machine here. And whenever you connect back to the machine, you have to also add the credentials, the security key and private key. But before I do that, I would like to just check. This is the folders we have. I want to get into this. So let me just get into this. There is no such directory. Let me again get back to this particular directory which we have created. Let's go back here. And ls-l, we have all these files here. And state file, about the state file, we have understood earlier in this series. The moment the infrastructure is provisioned, automatically state file gets created. What exactly it is, we have already understood. Now I have to create one more file, which is the output file, where I'll be writing the variables, and this will be executed post the execution of your main script. The moment the infrastructure is successfully created, whatever you have specified in the output, that information will be displayed. It could be for any infrastructure, okay, not just for EC2 machine, S3 bucket, maybe you're creating the RDS, right? And then the moment the database gets created, you want to know the endpoints of your database, right? All of that can be printed using by using the output variables. Now I would like to do one thing here. I would like to just remove this state file and backup file, so that the same folder I can use in order to recreate the infrastructure. Let me just do that here. As you can see, I have removed the state file and the state backup file. Now if you just run the Terraform apply, a new infrastructure will be created. It will not create any issue in order to provision the infrastructure. Now I just have to create here vi. I would like to create one visual editor and create here output dot Terraform script. And inside this, let me go to this insert mode, and I would like to specify the output variables, for which I would like to write here output. Whatever name of the variable you want, you can give. I would like to just give the name as maybe within double quotes. I would like to just specify here, okay, EC2 VM. Maybe the variable name I would like to give it as public IP. Okay, I want to know the public IP. That's the meaning of it.
public, I would like to just go back here and say IP. Okay. All right. And let's go back here and I would like to just specify this. Okay. So let me just go back. I would like to just specify here. All right. And I would like to just go here. Within this, you just have to pass value equals to whatever the resource name which you have given, that you have to specify here, which is AWS instance, and whatever the alias name in the resource section which we have given. If I have to open this before we executed the script, we had opened this right now. So for output variables, what we have to do is the value equal to what is the resource name, AWS instance dot what is the alias name, Linux VM is the alias name dot, then you have to specify what information you need, public IP, private IP, maybe the instance state you want to know, or maybe everything about the instance you want to know. Whatever you want to know, the moment instance is created, the moment the VM is created, you can specify in the output variables. Okay, I would like to specify the AWS dot Linux VM dot whatever you want. Okay, I would like to just go back here and I would like to just specify. I'll say right click here and paste this dot what is the machine name which we have given, the alias name. I think it has been given as let's just take this because this is the same thing we have used earlier also, Linux VM. I don't want to give any name. I would like to just go back here dot Linux VM, and now what you want, public IP, private IP, you just have to specify. Since I want to know the public IP, I would like to just go back here and say public IP is what I want to know. Right. Likewise, you can create multiple variables also. Maybe you want to know the private IP also. You want to also know about something else. The moment whatever infrastructure is getting created using the Terraform, that information, it could be the information about the S3 bucket, it could be the endpoints of database, it could be details about the IAM user. For whatever purpose you're writing the Terraform script, and the moment it is provisioned, the moment it is created, if you want something to be displayed, then you can use the concept of output variables. Fine. Now, I would like to just save this. I have saved it. And let me do one thing. I would like to add this into that. Okay, no problem. I would like to just initialize, as you all know. Let me first clear this. ls-l. These many files we have. Main, actual resource section, output, what we want to print it the moment the infrastructure is created. Provider, where we have given which provider we are using, AWS, Azure. And then where we have the input variables, where we are taking the input from that variable into our main. I would like to just go here and say Terraform initialize, as everyone knows about it. Initializing the backend, less than 1 minute, it will be initialized. It is initialized. Now I would like to go with the Terraform format. If everything's fine, yes, then Terraform validate. If my script is proper, it is valid. Validate is one of the important yet optional step in the Terraform execution. I'm trying to validate, it is success. Okay. Now I would like to plan my execution and see if everything's fine. But now I may get error here because I reconnected to my VM through the CLI. And the moment you recreate the environment variables where you have given your security credentials, right, that got deleted. If you're reconnecting, then again you have to export that. Maybe you have to add that into your machine. If not, you can keep that within the Terraform main script also, which is not recommended. I would like to set in the environment variables, which is for temporary setting. So let me just add the access key, ID and security key here. As you can see, I have added the credentials. Okay. Now let me just again clear this. And now I would like to go with Terraform plan, right? Now I'm planning my execution. So it will just say what is going to happen with the script which you're trying to run. As you can see, it is going to add one resource in my AWS, and also it is going to change this to the output. The moment resource is created, it will also give you the information about the public IP. Okay, now let's go here and say Terraform apply, and I don't want it to ask me any permission, for which I'll say auto approve. All right. Auto approve, Terraform apply, auto approve. Now it should be creating the resources on the cloud, and also it will print you the public IP. So let's wait for that. As you can see, one resource got created, resources one added. And the most interesting part here, are you all able to see the public IP of the resource which got created here? That's the use of output variables. Let's cross check here. I would like to go to my AWS account. Let me go to my EC2. Okay. And let's check if the resource is created. First of all, I would like to open my EC2. All right. EC2 is created. Let me go to my instances. And if I have to go to my instances, you can see here,
a new instance Linux VM got created. With this instance, this Linux machine we created using the Terraform script. And if I have to open this, please kindly verify the public IP. This is the public IP, all right? And whatever information we are getting about the public IP, both of them are same here, right? Not just public IP, it could be the state of the instance, it could be the private IP, it could be everything about the instance, and not just to the EC2 instance. Any resource you are trying to provision, you're trying to create on the AWS using the Terraform. And if you want to print some of the information, the moment resource is created, then you can use the concept of output variables. Now, practically, we have seen what is the use of input and output variables and how we may have to write here. I hope you could able to understand that. Now we have understood the concept of variables. We have understood the use of input variables and output variables. So far, whatever resources we have created, it is just to create a Linux machine, or you can say a server or a machine on AWS. Let's write a Terraform script to create a resource, to provision the resource other than a Linux machine, maybe RDS or S3 bucket, or maybe to create an IAM user. Okay. First of all, I would like to create one directory here. I would like to just go back here and say, create one directory. Okay. Which directory? Maybe I would like to go with 04 Terraform. All right. And this time, maybe I would like to create the S3 bucket. That's the one I would like to create here. All right. So let's -L, and we are inside this. Let me just go inside this particular directory. Okay. Now, using the concept of variables, it's up to you whether everywhere you want to use it. If not, like the way we have done the first and second script without the variables, everything, all the provided information and all the values hard-coded in one main Terraform script, like that also you can write. It's not a major matter of concern. Okay. Right now, we don't have anything here. We may have to create. Now, can we use the AI tools in order to get the scripts? Now we have understood fundamentally how the Terraform scripts looks like, how we have to use the HCL. Let's use the AI tool in order to generate this. Okay. I would like to go to my browser, and I would like to open the ChatGPT. You can use any other AI tool also. And here I would like to just, search here. Okay. I would like to say here, Terraform script, Terraform. Okay. I would like to just go back here and enhance. I want a Terraform script to create S3 bucket on AWS, right? With versioning. I want to go with the versioning also. Versioning means where you are trying to maintain the track history of this, versions of this. Okay. Versioning, right? S3 bucket on AWS with versioning. Okay. I would like to just run this. You can see here, we got it. Inside the main.terraform only, it is giving provider. If you want, you can maintain separate provider, and then you can do, that's not a problem. Okay. And this information again, you can keep separately also. You can, write the versioning inside this only. Anything is fine. Okay. You can see provider information and the resource information. This is the resource name. This is the alias name of the resource. And this is the actual, okay, bucket. And this has to be a unique. You can give any name whenever you are creating any bucket in the S3 on your AWS cloud. It is not just related to Terraform, in general about the AWS. Whenever we create a S3 bucket, the name should be unique. Okay, it has to be unique name. And the tags, again, it is an optional. If you want, you can write it. If not, you can ignore it. And after which, what are the steps which you have to run? It is also giving you all these steps, right? Now I would like to just go back here, maybe write without the versioning. If I just write the same, okay, without, I would not like to mention about the versioning. And let's see what we get. What is compulsory? What are the things we have to have at least a minimum in order to create this? Okay, so only this much you're getting it. Tags again is optional. It is not compulsory. See, only this much you are getting it. If you want to give the permissions also, maybe I want to go with the permissions, right? I would like to just go back here, and I want it to create for me. I would like to say here with ACL. ACL means permissions. Okay. I want to go with the access control. Okay. ACL means basically the access control about the permission, whether it has to be private, a public, who can access, and what authority they have over this S3 bucket which is getting created, right? So I would like to just specify I want with ACL, and let's see if we are getting it. Region, and yes, we are getting it. ACL private, and other things are optional, right? So now I would like to go to my EC2 machine, and here I would like to say, please create one provider dot Terraform. All right. I would like to just go here, and I need not to worry. I would like to just take this information from here. You can maintain everything within one also. That's not a problem. I would like to go back here, and I would like to just create one. Okay. Right click, and I would like to paste what we have taken from there. Okay. Of course, it is not this for us. It is South zone for us. Okay. Right now I'm recording in India. For India, I'm using the Mumbai region. The region you have to specify. Change it to your preferred region. Since I'm using Mumbai, it is South region. Let me add that here. As you can see, I have added AP South 1. Okay. I would like to just save this file. All right. I would like to just save this file. Okay. And now it's done. I would like to go with the main.terraform. Right. And here you can use the concept of variables, input variables, and then you can get that. I've got into the insert mode. Insert mode means you have to press. Okay. This is about the Linux fundamentals. Okay. Now I would like to just go back here and get the script what we wanted. Okay, only this much. I don't want to go with the tags. I would like to go with this. Yeah, I don't want to go with this. I want till here only private. Okay, I don't want all these things. So let me go to my resource and add the script here. Right click. I would like to paste it. Of course, you may have to close this. This is the most important part. Okay, closure of what we are writing. Okay, this is not required. Fine. Now, guys, the name of the bucket has to be unique. It is not about the Terraform. It is about the AWS. Okay. I would like to maybe, this is the resource name, my bucket alias resource name. I would like to say here, Telusko 4545 bucket. Okay. B. Whatever name you want to give. Maybe I would like to give it as a bucket. Yeah. Now, that's the bucket I would like to create. And now, after which, I would like to just save this file. Okay. Let me just save this. All right, and I have saved it. I'm not using any concept of output or input variables. If you want, you can use whatever we have seen in the last series. I mean, the same series, maybe the last part of this, you can try to implement input and output variables here also, which you can do it. Okay, now let's initialize this. The first part, Terraform initialize. I'm going to initialize. It is initializing within less than 1 minute of time. It will be initialized. And the next part, okay, after initializing, I'll just go for the formatting and the validation. We can see it is initialized. The next part is Terraform. Let me see if I have to format. Everything's fine. I would like to go with Terraform validate. I would like to validate my Terraform script. It is validating. This we have taken from the AI tool. Okay, so I'm just trying to validate this. It is validated, and now argument is deprecated private. It's okay, not a problem. It's just a warning. I would like to go with Terraform apply. Also, you can go. That also gives you planning, and then it will create it. If not, you can just plan first, and then you can execute. I would like to say Terraform and plan. All right. Let me just go and say here plan. It is planning, and see, it's a plan. It will give you the execution plan, which we have discussed a number of times. Warning is there, but one resource to get added, no problem. And now I would like to say here, Terraform apply, and I don't want it to ask me permission while it is trying to create the resource. Auto approve. Please don't ask anything in between. Go and create the resource. Go and provision the resource. Right. So now I would like to execute this. Right. So meanwhile, while it is getting executed, okay, it is executing, it is creating, guys, one resource got added. You can see plan was to add one resource, and one S3 bucket got added here. We can open the AWS and we can check that. So if I have to go to my AWS, you can see here, if you just go to AWS, okay, you'll get all this. If you have used earlier these S3 or any other resources, you'll get here only recently visited. If you have not gone, you may have to search here, okay. Since I have already used it, I would like to see here. If not, you have to go here and search for S3. Okay. Now I would like to just click here, and here it will give you the console of it, and you can see Telusko 4545B, right? You can see here Telusko 4545B, and just now it got created. Okay. At the time of me recording this video. Okay. This is the name which we had given, and we could able to do that, right? Now, you can destroy also, as you all know, whatever resources you have created. If you want to destroy, I would like to say here destroy, Terraform destroy, not just destroy, Terraform destroy because some of the resources on the AWS, it is paid, it is not free. If you're using them, you may have to, bill will be generated. Okay, so Terraform destroy, I would like to go with auto approve, and I would like to just delete this. Okay, whatever resources got created, it will be deleted. Not just S3, you can create IAM user, you can create RDS, whatever you want. And if you have generally understood fundamentals of HCL and Terraform, then you can use AI tools to generate the script, and you can just verify and use the way we have used. Now, one more thing which you have to understand is about the taint and untaint in Terraform, which is again very, very crucial. Earlier in the same series of Terraform, we had understood about the Terraform Statefile. Whenever you create or provision any resource using the Terraform, the moment a resource gets created, one state file gets generated, which will maintain the state of the infrastructure which got created using the Terraform. And once the state file gets generated and the resource gets created on your AWS, right now we had created one resource called as Linux VM, okay, using the Terraform, and state file got created. Once again, if you try to execute Terraform apply, we have seen this earlier when we had discussed the concept of state file. If I just apply once again, auto approve, will it create a new resource? Will it delete the existing resource or create a new resource? No, it will not create so. Earlier also we had seen. One more time, if I just try to execute this, kindly see, it will say 0 to add. The resource will not get created. It will refer to the state file and say, based on this information, one resource is already created. You can see here, no changes, right? And resource 0 to add. 0 to add, that means new resource will not get created, right? So once we create a resource or provision a resource on the AWS using the Terraform, maybe there is some issue in the machine, something went wrong here. Now, without making any change on the Terraform resource main script file, can we create a resource? The answer is yes. If you want to achieve that, then you have to use the concept of Terraform Taint, right? By chance, if you want to, make sure that this gets applied, a new resource has to get created, then you have to make changes in the main.terraform. If there are any changes, by looking at the changes and compare with the state file, it will create a new resource. If not, a new resource will not be created. Same thing we have already understood in the concept of state file in the same series. Now, by chance something happened to this machine, something went wrong, there is some problem here, and you want to destroy this and recreate once again. If you want to do it, we have an option where we manually destroy, we delete all the state files, then we reinitialize. Without deleting the state file, without we manually destroying with the help of Terraform destroy, can we just write this command once again, and that existing resource which we got created, the VM, should get deleted and a new resource has to get created? Then we have to use the concept of Terraform Taint. So for which we have to just run one command, Terraform Taint, and then I have to talk about the resource which I want to recreate. Example, AWS instance. Okay, AWS instance, that's the resource we had created earlier with the help of the Terraform script. And I would like to say here, dot, what was the the alias name which we had given? It was Linux VM, right? So I would like to say I want to taint this resource. The moment you hit this button, it will be tainted. It will take some time and you'll be able to get one message here. We got the message, no such resource instance. Maybe the name I have given wrong. I would like to open this main.tf and check. You can see what was the name we had here. It was AWS instance Linux VM, hyphen was there. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I would like to say here, Terraform Taint, and it is AWS instance, instance, and I would like to say here dot Linux. What is the exact name here? It is Linux VM, right? So I would like to taint this. It will take some time, and you'll be getting one message here. You can see here, resource instance AWS instance Linux VM has been marked as taint. Mark as taint means now if you just rerun this once again, I'm not destroying that. I have not used Terraform destroy. I'm not making any changes in the existing main.tf. Nothing I'm doing. Okay. I would like to just rerun this once again after I apply taint. I would like to rerun this, and you can see existing resource will get deleted. A new resource will be created. You can observe this. Okay. And this is possible after you apply. You can see plan one to add. Okay, 0 to change and 1 to destroy. You can see we are getting the public ID because that's the script I'm running where output variables were also there. Okay, it is destroying. You can please see here, it is destroying, still destroying. It will destroy the existing resource and then it will recreate. Okay, so that's what it will happen. Please observe here. You can see here, first it got destroyed and then a new resource got created. It destroyed the existing resource, then it got created. Now, earlier, when I just applied this, right, when we just, use this Terraform, then during that time, it was not, working. So let me just show you this. When I just applied this Terraform, apply, auto approve, when I just executed this, once the state file got created, we got one message, no changes. Zero resource to add, zero to add, right? And now after I just got into the taint, I marked the resource as the tainted resource. And after I applied the taint, and once again after making it to a tainted resource, when I apply, then again it destroyed the existing resource and recreated that particular resource. That's the meaning of taint. Now if you want to say here, I would like to say here Terraform, I would like to say here taint. What is the name of the resource? It was AWS instance. This is the resource which we created. And what is the alias name we had given? It was Linux VM. Okay. If I just hit this, it will be marked as tainted. If you mark this as tainted, and now if you execute Terraform apply, then it will recreate the resource by deleting the existing resource. Generally, if you don't taint, once the resource gets created, state file gets generated, that time, if you try to run the command Terraform apply, a new resource will not be created. Existing resource will not be deleted. In that case, by chance, if you want to delete the resource which got created and now recreate the resource, in that case, normally if you want to go with the manual approach, then you have to run the Terraform destroy command. The resource will be deleted. Then you have to delete the Terraform state file, which is not recommended. Then again, you have to reinitialize and reapply. Lengthy process, right? Now, once the resource gets created and by chance, due to some reasons, if you want to delete and recreate the resource without you manually destroying, deleting the Terraform state file and all, then you have to just get that into the taint. And after you mark that resource as a taint, if you just run Terraform apply, then automatically it will delete the existing resource and recreate a new resource. I hope even if you have watched the state file, if you have understood, then now you could you could able to differentiate what difference it is. Once it is in the taint state, can we untaint that? The answer is yes, for which you just have to run one command, Terraform untaint. You just have to write Terraform untaint, and then you have to say which is the resource you want to untaint. This is the resource I want to untaint. Okay, dot Linux VM. I want to untaint this. Okay, there is a spelling mistake here. Instance. Okay, instance dot Linux VM. Okay, I would like to untaint this particular resource. The moment I run this command, you can see the message now. You are getting the message, Linux VM has been successfully untainted. If it is untainted, it is back to its normal form. Now if I run this Terraform apply, I would like to say here auto approve. Will it create a new resource? Will it delete it? No, right now it is not in the tainted state. It will go to the state file. It will check, oh, for this resource, one infrastructure is already created, right? The resource is already created on the cloud. I will not destroy that because it is not in the taint state. You can see 0 to add, normal behavior. You can see here no changes and 0 to add. Generally, that's the behavior of the Terraform apply once the resource is created. We have understood the same in the state file concept. But if you taint, you'll be able to destroy that and you'll be able to recreate it if you run the apply command. Now I got into the untaint form. Untaint means it is back to the normal form. If you try to run this Terraform apply, it will not create any resource. I hope you got the difference between the default behavior on which it is working and what is the use of taint and untaint. Now we need to understand one more important concept, which is Terraform modules, which is one of the important concept. Again, it simply means collection of configuration files which you have created within one directly. That is one module, right? Example, for an instance, if I have to say here ls-hell, let me just go back and write here. I would just say here maybe ls-l, and I would like to just know what is there inside this particular directory, right? So if I have to just go back and say I would like to just see collection of all these files which you have created in order to provision, or you can say in order to create the infrastructure on AWS in one directory, can be called as module. This is one module here, right? All the configuration files which you have created. Now this is okay, you can do, or you can write in this way whenever you have to create one or two resources on the cloud. What if you want to create multiple resources? There is a way on which we have to organize this. There is a way we have to follow in order to write the Terraform scripts, in order to provision the infrastructure. We have to be more modular here, more organized here. So what I'm trying to say here is, if I have to open this, kindly understand what we have done so far is I had created one folder here, whatever is the name of the folder. Maybe I've told here 03 Terraform, maybe EC2 var, something like this. I've created one folder, right? Within this one particular folder, we had created all the files. We had our variables files, input files, where we had kept the input files. Similar to that, we had the provider information, right, on which cloud we are going to create the script. And here only we had the main Terraform script, and within this only we had the output variables. What is input variables, what is output variables, everything we have already seen in this particular series, right? So we can specify all of them in one particular directory. Now this is only called as a module, but there is a better way wherein we may have to follow. This is not the approach. What if you want to create multiple resources? Maybe I want to create the resources on EC2 also, I want to create S3 bucket also, I want to create the IAM user also, I want to create the VPC also, right? I want to create multiple infrastructure, I want to provision here. In that case, provider will say, okay, we are going to create that on the AWS. It's easy. Now, for all of them, creating the variables, so many variables inside one file, so many output variables for which you want to know the information once the infrastructure is created, again in one file, and inside one main.terraform script, you are going to add all these resources information. It becomes very, very, very difficult to manage that. It's not easy, wherein everything, if you open this, you are not just creating one resource. In the same file, you have written the code in order to create the, or in order to provision the infrastructure of EC2 also, S3 also, IAM user also, VPC also. Maintenance become very, very easy. So with the help of one concept called as Terraform modules, we can organize this better. What we can do is, we will be creating one example. I'm just creating all this infrastructure for the Telusko application. I'll create one root module called as Telusko. Maybe I'll say here Telusko infra, whatever name you want, you can give. Okay, Telusko infra, for example. Now, within this, first I would like to specify what is my provider, which cloud provider I'm going to use, provider.tf. Great. After which, based on the infrastructure which we are creating, right, we have to create the multiple modules. Multiple modules in the sense, you can say multiple directory. I'm going to create one directory here called as modules directory. After which, I would like to just create one more directory here, which is maybe EC2. Here I would like to create one more directory, maybe S3. Based on that, here I would like to create one more directory based on whatever you would like to achieve here. And again, this directory can be called as modules, child modules. This is the root module. Okay, I would like to clarify, this is our root module, and within this I'll create one directory called as modules. And again, within this we will create multiple child directories, which is child modules. Within this particular directory, we are going to create, within this EC2 directory, we will create all our input files, input variables files. We will write our main.terraform. Here we will write the output.terraform, right? And similar to that, on the S3 directory, we will write whatever input variables which are going to use in the main script, main.tf, output.tf, where we will have our output variables. And finally, at this stage, we will have our main directory also. Okay, here we are going to write here our main.terraform script once again. What will be there inside this? Because whatever is required in order to provision the EC2 machine, that will be available here. Whatever is required in order to create the S3 bucket, that will be available here. Then why do we have one more main? Inside this main, we are going to invoke this main. We are going to invoke whatever we have inside this main. And similarly, at this level itself, we are going to create one output.terraform script. Output.terraform script. Okay. And here also, we are just going to invoke the output variables. It is general. At the root level, we are going to just create these two folders where we will invoke the main script which are there in the child modules. Child modules means whatever directories you have created here. This is called as child module. Child module. It's all about how you're organizing your Terraform scripts, right? So this is your child module. Okay. And this is your root module. We will create one root directory. Within this, first we will specify on which AWS cloud we are going to provision our infrastructure. We will create the provider, and then we will create the modules, a one subdirectory. Within that, based on how much ever modules or how much ever infrastructure we are going to create, we will create all those subdirectories. Maybe you want to create one IAM also. You will create here IAM directory, right? You want to create VPC, one VPC directory. Within these directories, which can be called as child modules, you are going to write all these important files, which is input, main, output, input, main, output. And finally, at the root level itself, within the root directory, we are going to create one main Terraform script, from where we will invoke these Terraform scripts which are there in the child modules. In this way, it will be better organized, better, it will be more modular, and in this case, you will be able to maintain your Terraform script easily. There will be no ambiguity, there will be no confusion. Same thing I have to follow here. How to provision the infrastructure with the help of Terraform. We have seen, we have created S3 buckets, we have created the servers, web servers, one VPC Linux machine. All of that we have seen, and we have followed this approach also. Input variables, output variables, separately maintaining the provider. All of that we have seen. Now I would like to follow this module concept, and in same style I would like to create the infrastructure on the AWS cloud. Okay, so I hope you could able to understand fundamentally. Now we have to get connected to our Linux machine where we have our Terraform, and there we would like to follow the same approach and create the infrastructure on the AWS. So let me just open that. It got now disconnected. Now again I have to connect back to my Linux machine, and then we may have to follow that Terraform modules, and in the same style I would like to create the Terraform scripts in order to create the infrastructure on the AWS cloud. Let me just get connected to this Linux machine and start applying the concept of Terraform modules. Now I got connected to the Linux machine, okay, and we have set the environmental variables also for the security credentials. Now you can see all these files which we had created earlier. Now I'm going to create one root directory as per the plan which we have seen. I would like to just go back here and say create one directory, whatever name you want to give. I would like to give it as 05 Telusko Terraform script, okay. Maybe I'll say here maybe project. Anything is fine. Yeah, I have given this. Now I would like to just check if this directory is created. It is created. Now I would like to get inside this particular root directory. Okay, this will act like a root directory if you just look at the plan which we had seen just now. Okay, now I am inside this. Right now we don't have anything. Now if you just look into this diagram, kindly see here. We should have in the root directory one provider file, modules folder must be there in the root directory itself, main and output.terraform script. Okay, so now I would like to just go inside this, and I would like to create the same. I would like to first create the directory which is modules directory. I have created. Now I would like to just create the files. Later we will fill. I need not to open the editor. I need not to use vi command. Later we will open that. First I'm just creating it. Okay, I would like to create one file called as maybe provider.terraform at the root level. I would like to create one more file which is maybe main.terraform, from where we invoke the child modules, whatever main scripts are available. Okay, I would like to say here output.terraform. Now I would like to just check what we have. This we have at the root level. Now I want to get into modules. Okay, now when I get inside the modules, okay, inside the modules right now we don't have anything. I would like to create two directories. One is EC2 where I'll write the input, output and main script for the EC2. Okay, and similarly I would like to create one more directory which is S3. For S3 also I would like to write there. Okay, ls-l, we have this here. Okay, now let me just clear this. I would like to now get into EC2. Inside this I would like to create touch and one input dot terraform script. I would like to say here touch one main dot Terraform script, and again I would like to say touch and one output dot Terraform. As you've seen, it's not compulsory like every time you have to write input and output, everything you can write in the main script also, but this is like more organized. That's it. Okay. Now, if I have to check this, we have this here within the EC2. I would like to come out of this. And now I would like to just cross check what we have inside the modules. We are inside the modules now. I want to get into the S3. Now I'm in the S3. I would like to directly create only main here. Okay. If you want, you can have input outputs even for the S3 also, not a problem. You can write this for almost every infrastructure. Okay. But I hope you got the context now. I would like to just go back and write only main here. Can we write input here also and pass the? Yes, you can do that. Can we write output variables and check after the S3 bucket is created the information about the S3 buckets? Yes, you can do that. There is no problem. But I would like to just keep it simple here. Okay. ls-l and it is there right now. I want to get into this, right? And if I have to check, all this are present. And if I have to get into, I would like to now check. Okay, let me just clear this ls-l, and I want to check the tree. Okay, tree of this particular, how it looks like. Is it as per the plan or not before we actually write the code there? Okay. I would like to just go back. It's not there. So I would like to install this tree command sudo yum. Since it is Amazon Linux, it is yum. If not, it is Ubuntu. apt is what you have to write the command for the Linux. For a DevOps engineer, Linux is the most important skill. If someone asks me to take the interview, I would focus 60% on the Linux, and then I would focus 40% on the other DevOps tool. It is the most critical. I'll make an assumption that you already know the DevOps tool. Okay, sudo yum. Install. I would like to just say here a tree. Okay, now it will install the tree. Yes, please do install. The tree is installed. Let me just go back here, clear this ls-l, and now I would like to say a tree. What you want to check, what you want to see the tree of. I want to see this project structure. Is it created as per the plan or not? You can see it is as per the plan. Look at this. And we have main, we have modules, we have EC2 output, Terraform, and inside this EC2 also we have this, inside the S3 also we have this. And if you just compare the diagram, it is exactly same, which you can see here. Okay, and of course maybe I have written this main down, but it is at the root level. Doesn't matter a tree is showing first main or output. It is not about first. These files are there at the root level. That's what it is important. Okay, I hope that much you have. Now I would like to get inside this and I have to start writing the code. Okay, so now I'll do one thing. I would like to just first get into this folder. Okay, and now I would like to get into modules inside this folder, right? And now I want to get into EC2 directory. Right now I would like to open the files. If I have to check here, I have this input, out, main and output, right? If you want to open in the editor, vi and output dot Terraform, because earlier we used touch, we just created this. Okay, and what to write here, I'll get into insert mode by pressing I, and we had already written this script, right? I would like to just write the same. Okay, I would like to take it from here. And also guys, one more part is that which I would like to highlight here. If you want, you can pass the input variables from the root directory main Terraform script. What do you mean by that? From here, we invoke this child modules, right, for the execution. At the time of from the main root file, at the time of we invoking this, if you want, you can pass the input variables from here also. Of course, you can keep it in the input file and then automatically it will be taken care inside the main. But when you're invoking this main sub-modules, the child modules main Terraform script from the root level main Terraform script, at that moment also, if you want, you can pass the input variables. Maybe you don't have example here. I have not created. If you want, you can pass the input variables from here only at the time of invoking. That can also be done just in case. Okay. Maybe we'll do one thing. AMI value, I would like to pass it from the main. Okay, just to show you the variable for the t2 dot micro, the instance type, I would like to keep it in the input file only. And here what I'm going to do is this AMI value I have not like to pass from here. We can keep it in the input file and we can pass it. We have done that earlier, but intentionally from the root main directory is there. No, whatever I've just said, I would like to prove that it is possible. For now, I'll not give anything. Maybe I'll say a type equals to string, nothing more than that. Okay, I would like to just save this. Now I would like to open the main dot Terraform script, and if I have to get into the insert mode, for that earlier we had already written this, earlier we have already seen this, right? And I would like to just take this resource, I would like to copy from here, and I would like to just get into this, right click, and I would like to just add it. And one more point is that you need not to write this always within the double quotes and curly brackets. If you want, you can ignore that directly also, you can call like this, okay? There should not be any problem, but by chance if there is a problem, we will again change it to the normal, okay? I would like to just go back here, and like this also we can write. I would like to just provide this and remove this part, okay? I would like to come inside this, and I would like to do like this. Like this can also be done. Now let me just save this file. I would like to just go here and save this particular file. We have saved this. Now let me open this output. I would like to say here output.terraform script. Okay. I would like to say here output.terraform script. And again, earlier before this in the same series, we had already written, just to save the time, I would like to add whatever you want in the output. What exactly is the output variables? How do we write it? Almost everything we have seen it. So that should not be a major matter of concern. Okay. I would like to just go back and save this file, and this is fine. I would like to say ls-l. We do have this, and whatever we had to add, we have already added. I'll say here cat, just to check if everything is fine. Terraform, yes, we have added the variables. I would like to say here cat and get into main.terraform, okay? And I would like to get into cat and output.terraform. It's there here, right? I would like to just come out of this, out of this folder EC2. And now I would like to check, we have one more folder, and now I would like to get into this S3, okay? Within this S3 right now, we have one folder main. I want to get into this main folder. I would say main.terraform, and here I would like to add the same which we have executed in order to provision the S3 bucket. Let me just add that. As you can see, I have added that. I would like to just save this. Okay. Earlier also we had done in order to create this. All right. And now I would like to just get out of this ls-l, and I would like to get out of it, and I would like to say ls-l, and we have this. And now we have to just edit this provider which is there at the root level .tf. And here we have to add the provider information, that which is the provider which we are using right now. Okay, we are using this AWS in the Mumbai region. So I would like to just specify here AP South 1. Right click, and I would like to just specify this, right? And I would like to now save this file. I have saved this. Okay, saving the file and all these commands, it is related to Linux. I'll make an assumption you already know Linux. I've been telling this in repeated way. All right. Now I have to get into this VI main.terraform. This is the main Terraform script from where it is at the root level, from where we have to invoke the child level, whatever main Terraform scripts are there in the child modules. I just have to invoke. For this in specific syntax you have to write here. You have to use something called as module here. Let me just write here. I would like to just say here module, whatever name of the module you want. I would like to say here my EC2. Okay, I'm going to invoke that here, right? So I would like to just get into this, and here I just have to specify source equals to, where is the source you have to specify here. Okay, I would like to say here it is in the from the root directory. You have to go inside this modules directory. Inside that directory, we had created one more directory called as EC2 directory. There is where the main file is present. Okay, that's path you have to specify here. Apart from that, since one of the value I showed that from the main Terraform script which is there at the root level, from there also if you want you can pass the input value to the child modules Terraform main script if you want, right? I just had explained that also, we can do it. So there in the variables of EC2, I had given for the instance type but not for the AMI image I have to pass here. So when I'm invoking the scripts of the child module EC2, one input also I'm passing. Okay, one input also I'm going to pass here, which can be done here. So let me write that here. Let me just get this value from this script AMI value. I would like to just take it from here. Okay, all right. Or maybe I would like to just take it from here. Okay, and get into this, and I would like to pass it. It's not compulsory. We can keep that in the input variables only, like the way I have kept the instance type, but this can also be done. I just wanted to show you. Okay. Similar to this, I would like to just write here a module, and I would like to say here maybe my S3, whatever name you would like to give. And then now I would like to just get into this. And here I would like to just specify the source equals to where exactly is the file from where you want to invoke. From this root directory, go inside the modules. There we have one folder directory called as S3 that I have to specify, right? If the path is something different, then you have to specify the entire path here, right? And that's all. I'm not passing any input values to the S3 buckets main file, so it's fine. This much is more than sufficient. I would like to just save this file here. It is done. Now comes the output file. Let me open this output. I would like to say here output dot tf, which we had already created, output dot tf main. Yeah, done. And from here I just have to invoke that output variables which are there only in the EC2 directory, output variables file I had given there. Okay, so let me just add that here. As you can see, I have added that, but however, I want to add this. Okay, I have to specify it is there inside the module. What is the module name we had given for the EC2? I think we had given my EC2, right? That's a module main from the main EC2. And now I would like to say dot public IP. Okay, that's what you have to specify here. And this is the name which we had given the module name inside our main Terraform script in our root directory, right? Module we had created, and this was the name we had given. And public IP we have to, from there is where we're invoking the child modules, right? So whatever name you had given, that name you can give it here. Okay, now I would like to just save this. I have saved it. Okay, so let me just clear this first. I would like to say ls-l, and I would like to just okay, great. And now I would like to just do one thing. I would like to just see what we have, all these files we have here. Now I would like to say let me just, okay, I think the tree also we have already seen. I would like to say Terraform init as normal. Everyone knows very well. And we are initializing the files. Hopefully it will initialize without any problem. Okay, so fingers crossed. Right now, no errors. Let's wait for the initialization. So seems like there is no problem. And I would like to just format Terraform formatting, no issues. And let's check the validation. Okay, Terraform validate. If everything is fine, I hope there will be no error here is what I feel. All right, it is validating. Fingers crossed. Oops, unsupported attribute in the output file. Unsupported attribute. It is telling that value module dot ec2 dot public IP. This I have to rectify. It is a object. Okay, so somewhere this naming is wrong. The object does not have an attribute name public IP. So let's check what is the name we had given there. I would like to just say ls-l. I want to get into modules. Okay, or I'll do one thing. I would like to say here cat, go inside modules. Inside that, go to EC2. Inside that, see what is there inside this output dot terraform script file. That's the, I would just want to check what is there inside this. Okay, of course it is not dot, it has to be the / because we are getting inside this. And I would like to just execute this. And we had given the name here linux vm dot public. Okay, whatever the name you had given, I think we have to give that a same name only directly, not the public IP. So what I'm going to do right now is I would like to just edit this file vi. Okay, but I would like to copy this and see if this is working out. Okay, and now I would like to go inside output dot terraform. This output is the root level output. Okay, let me just edit this, and I would like to just okay, keep it here like this. Okay, let me just paste it. Dot I would like to say, and I would like to just paste it. Okay, so maybe I would like to just specify the name here, or maybe dot, not the dot. I would like to just give it as underscore. All right, and here it is dot. I would like to just remove this. Yeah, this should be fine because directly public IP we don't have there. It is there with EC2 VM public IP, and then we had specified this. So of course 2 times public IP should need not to we have it. That's a variable name we had given there. Okay, so now I hope it should work. I would like to just go back and save this, and now I would like to again say Terraform. Maybe again I would like to initialize, already initialize. So yeah, at the root level I'm doing this. Okay, so it is initializing the backend. Seems like no problem, reusing the existing log file. Okay, log file means a file which gets generated the moment you initialize the Terraform init. One log file gets generated. Okay, I would like to say formatting was done. I would like to say Terraform validate. Okay, now see if it is still creating the problem. If not, we may have to rectify what is the exact issue. Now there is no problem there. Yeah. Now I would like to say Terraform plan, right? If I have to go for the Terraform plan, let's see what is a plan. How many resources? As per the in the module, we had 2 resources. Okay, in the entire project, you can see 2 to add, and one public IP also has to be displayed once it is created. So now I would like to go back and say Terraform, as you all know, apply. I would like to go with auto approve, right? So it is apply auto approve. Okay, and you all know very well it will create 2 resources now. One is S3 and one is EC2 machine. Now this time we just have executed this in a structured way, right? That's what it is, creating the EC2 machine first, and then it has to create the S3 bucket. Now S3 bucket it is creating, EC2 machine also it is creating. It will take less than a minute of time and it should be created. So let's wait for that. As you can see, 2 resources got added here. Okay, and also you're getting the output of public IP VM, which you are printing in the output variables. Okay, now let me just go back to my machine and cross check if it is getting created. I would like to go to first the EC2 machine and check if the instance is created or not. If I have to go to my instances and it is loading, and let's check if it is getting created. Terraform Linux instance running, and it is initializing. Initializing means just now it got created. So this machine is created, and also I'd like to just check if the S3 bucket is also created. All right. So I would like to just go back here and say S3. Okay, S3, and I would like to just check if the S3 bucket is also getting created. If I have to check here, Telusko 4354, this particular S3 bucket also got created here. Now, since some of the resources are paid, including the S3, I would like to just destroy that here. Okay, but with the help of modules, we could able to organize our files and provision the infrastructure on the AWS cloud using the Terraform, right? This is how you have to do it in the real time. Okay, so now I would like to just destroy all the resources which got created. Terraform, and I don't want it to ask me any permission. I would like to say here auto approve, and please destroy all the resources which you had created at the time when we had run the apply command. So this is about this modules project, guys. I hope you could able to understand what is Terraform, why Terraform, how do we write the scripts, what are the commands, the architecture of the Terraform, init, format, validate, and then we have seen about plan and apply, destroy command. We have seen about input output variables when we have to use the modules. We could able to create S3 buckets, EC2 machine. You can create any infrastructure. We also use ChatGPT to generate the Terraform scripts. And I hope now you got a big picture about the Terraform to start your journey with Terraform.